Radio Rentals, South Australia's biggest electrical retailer. Now that's big. And Southern Workout Store, the largest fitness bulk store in SA.
Nothing in football is certain. What lay on the horizon one moment can dramatically change direction without any warning. This time last year, the rising stars from St Kilda were the talk of the AFL world. Undefeated, they had the competition at their mercy. In 2005, the forecasters were predicting the Saints' coming of age. But 8 games have produced 4 wins, and the confidence is dropping. Neil Craig's Adelaide Crows also had optimistic fans talking up a new era. But after a couple of losses, they too are now on the brink of being dumped from the top 8. Tonight, the temperature rises as the Saints and Crows come under the radar of Friday night football. This is AFL on 9. Welcome to the show.
A top 4 proposition must win tonight for the Adelaide Crows. Unfancied at the start of the year. This is the big game for them. Dermot Brereton, welcome aboard, pal.
Evening, Ed. Yeah, one of these teams goes +1 in the win-loss count tonight, and both teams have a reasonable run in from here. So it's a must-win to go one up on the other.
No doubt about it. Let's have a look at the Adelaide Crows team now from the back line. Dermot, they're pretty strong.
You're Rutten there, 1 of 9 players to play every minute of the season so far, and also Matner will play in the midfield, gets the ball inside 50. Thompson there on the wing has been very good at driving the ball inside his team's forward 50. McGregor named at centre-half order. I think he'll play back for a start. Jericho's an athlete. We want to see if he can play footy. And Perry, he's the go-to man, but he just misses too many set shots. He needs 4 or 5 under his belt to get some confidence up. Hudson's been very good contested ball and also in the ruck with the tap-out. Rashudo, we know what he's capable of. And a mixture of youth and experience on the bench.
Oh, they're up on their toes, the Adelaide Crows. No doubt about it. So too the Saints. Their last 9 matches played at Telstra Dome. They've won by an average of 47 points. They love it here, Derm.
Oh, they certainly do. Baker in the back pocket. I wonder who he's going to annoy the hell out of tonight. Let's have a look at the halfback. Penny is in as well. Fiora, Ball, McQualter. We want to see the kid play. Ball has been sensational, especially over the last month. Revolt at centre-half forward. Powell, tough nut into the side. He'll play in the midfield as well. Milne, he can't miss at the moment. And Fraser Gehrig, you'd think he has to kick 4 or 5 goals plus if St Kilda are going to win tonight. Ackland's been good in the centre. Del Santos just tapered off ever so slightly in the month. That's a bit of a hard call, but the facts show that, the figures show that. And there we have a fairly inexperienced bench apart from Justin Peckett.
Well, out come the Crows have had the most loose ball gets of any side. They also get plenty of it, 366 disposals against Brisbane last week, but they lost the game as well. So it's a big game for them tonight. A couple of weeks ago, they were disappointing on Friday night football, and they're up against St Kilda. As I said, this is the big one tonight. As the Saints go out on Luke Ball's 50th game, let's go down to Tony Jones with the coach, Grant Thomas.
Well, Grant, I appreciate your time, of course. Just tell us the final couple of minutes before the boys head out. What's the process there?
Well, we just go inside and talk about the first couple of contests and what we require from each and every player, and we get 100% effort from all of them. That sort of really flows through to the rest of the team, and you've got a better chance of starting well. You start well, you've got a better chance of playing well.
And what about yourself? I mean, you've made this walk a few times. You still get a bit edgy?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you always do. I mean, it's an exciting thing to do. I mean, we've got to charge with a really big responsibility in charge of an AFL club, and to make sure that we can represent our sponsors and our supporters week in, week out, and we've got a finals to try and get to.
Well, the lights are up and so's the curtain. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Grant Thomas down there with Tony Jones. There's the man, the G-Train, Derm. You picked him out. You said he's got to kick at least 3 or 4.
Well, let's have a look at the stats to back this up. Since 2003, he's played 51 matches. He scored 181 goals. But let's have a look at what it means to the side. And with this one, the Gehrig average goals. St Kilda wins if he kicks 4.5 goals. St Kilda loses if he kicks less than 2 goals. It's as simple as that. Their midfielders do not kick goals, so their target forwards are the ones who they rely on to kick the goal, so he has to win it for them.
We'll see if the G-Train is on the rails tonight. Both teams have lost their last 2 games. This is a huge one. When we return, Friday Night Football, this is AFL on 9. Welcome back to Friday Night Football. The toss of the coin has been won by Mark Rasciuto, the champion captain of the Adelaide Crows. We're kicking to the Coventry end to the right of screen. And our thoughts are with Gary Lyon tonight, who's home in bed sick for the weekend. He'll miss Friday night football and Sunday on the Sunday footy show. Tony Jones will be stepping in for him. But we have pulled another bloke in, Dennis Committee. This is the bloke here. He played 240 games for St Kilda. 2-time All-Australian and cleaned up Bianca McIntyre, our camera girl. There she is down there, Bianca. She is forgiving Danny Frawley. Of course, the 11-time Victorian player, 9 seasons as St Kilda captain, the dual All-Australian. Welcome to Friday Night Football, Danny.
Great to be here, Ed. And as you know, the young Bianca down there, as you know, I didn't have much agility as a player in a straight line, so I apologise, Bianca.
Exactly, and you're sitting alongside Dermot, so you two don't start fighting in the middle of the show tonight.
I have had him play a lot closer in the past.
We'll be fine if we keep our elbows down, Dermot.
Tony Jones at boundary side. Tony, there's been a conjecture this week about the surface here at Telstra Dome. What's it like tonight?
Well, it's beautiful, Eddie. Bone dry, as a matter of fact. It might be a little bit slippery down the Lockett end. It doesn't get much sunshine down there. And a rugby league flavour in the St Kilda box tonight, Ed. Steve Folkes, the coach of the Canterbury Bulldogs, sitting alongside Grant Thomas there. Just why he's there, we'll find out when we have a chat to him at half-time.
No problem at all, Tony, as we welcome Dennis Committee, the man voted by his peers as the #1 caller in the game. Welcome, Dennis.
Thanks, Ed. Looking forward to this one. Both these teams struggling to kick goals. Adelaide 8 goals last week. Saints 7. Both of them lost, of course. They've lost their last 2.
Let's go down to the dock in a few moments' time. Stick with us, people. Get your thoughts at the first break in play. Here's Dennis Committee on Friday Night Football.
Umpires tonight. Margette's winning goal spin. Opening bounce. Away we go. Friday Night Football. Ackland knocks it down. Shirley gets a hand pass away. Matner dragged down. Back towards Shirley. Over the top was Milne. Goddard comes in. We've got a whistle as we go down to dock.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis. Aussie Jones returns tonight at the expense of Matt Maguire. Both have had calf injuries, and obviously Aussie Jones playing on Simon Goodwin coming back with a calf injury, and also Thompson, he'll be out for 1 more week with St Kilda with an AC joint.
Working with Phil Spector down there, the dock. There's the bounce on the wing, the wall of sound. That's right. Charging through Del Santo. Goes to half forward. Well played. Too much carry for Hayes. Revolt comes up. Box got a big job. Did pretty well there. Tawney hard against the line. Stepped across the line. And a boundary throw in.
Adelaide have made their intentions clear already. Ben Hart has already been nominated as the loose man in defence, so they're just going to try and win this game with about 14 goals. You'd think that'll be their aim.
Well, Andrew McLeod won't be complaining tonight about the tagging. You saw him dragging the arm of Luke Ball up towards the G-Train. First contest of the night. It's over the head of Rutten as well. Coming in to Fiore, gets it over to Gehrig, who has the shot, kicks the first goal. How about that? Fraser Gehrig. Away he goes.
Well, that was a
Radio Reds is making a big splash! Buy a new widescreen plasma or LCD TV.
The opening goal of the night then. The snap. Dirty day last week. Saints lead it by 6. Bach has the job on Revolt. We'll watch that with interest. Hudson on the way down. Got it to Goodwin, who was taken down by Ball. Goddard, gang tackled. Shirley one side, Hudson the other. Bounce.
Thanks, Brendan. Lenny Hayes contesting in the middle for the bounce downs and then pushes forward to a true half-forward role.
Hudson over the top, knocked it down. Ackland falls on top of the football this time, tries to feed it out. Takes a while to come out. In fact, it still hasn't eventually. Baker to Ball. Kicks it out towards the wing. Hart. Meters in the clear. Measures it nicely. Comes back to the corridor. Now McLeod running up towards the centre circles. Hesitates. Realises he's more nimble than Ackland. Took him on. Runs beyond the wing. Looks inside the forward 50. McGregor.
That is a good kick. Good kick under pressure.
good move from Neil Craig, putting Kenny McGregor forward. They're struggling to kick goals in the forward line, so he's put his intentions early with McGregor forward.
Led authoritatively too. He's out wide, but it's better to have the ball out wide than not have it at all, that's for sure, as an opener of the game.
Kick the goal. Get this one through and the confidence goes sky high.
Hasn't kicked a goal this season.
More the point then.
And he comes. Steps to the 50. Starts it right and hangs out there and maybe just sneaks in for a behind. This will be tight. First score for Adelaide.
First score for McGregor for the season. Is a behind. And interesting that McLeod is being dragged right back to the full-back line. We might get a shot of it, boys, to pick up Milne down there. He was able to run off him a few moments ago. Cut into the centre corridor, just read it better than anybody else, but we'll see what happens from here. Del Santo releases over to Goddard, who had a great game last week. Goddard transfers play to the outer side. It's marked there by Voss. Voss looks up, there's nothing on, so he has to put the brakes on. Now he holds his kick and did it well. Great play. Now the Saints go forward through Fisher. To the forward 50, Gehrig's got it again, almost took it, just fell in front of him. Good play by McLeod. The Crows work it around. Bonk finally from the back pocket kicks out wide, and Burton makes even a chest mark look spectacular. He gets it away. Tawney with a long kick up towards the half-forward flank position. McGregor from behind has given away the free kick, and Penny will take it for the Saints at half-back flank.
He's back tonight and they need him. Then some heightened defence, just pops it over the top. This is Fisher. The defensive side of the wing. Saints lead it by 5. Terrible kick straight to Perry. Perry lays it off. Bassett pushing up from defence. Loops the hand pass over the top for a shootout. Burton is running to centre half forward. Gets around Ackland, 52 metres out down towards the goal square. Then plenty of Saints. Penny spoke of it moments ago. Grabbed it. They'll bring it out. It was rather untidy from Fiora. But eventually they can still sort this. In fact, it was Fisher's hand pass that came across to Jones, who finds Hayes tumbling forward at half-back, slips it back to Jones, and he's away.
And Aussie goes up to centre wing. Tries a bit of fancy stuff, ends up on the AstroTurf, and the umpire says throw it in.
It's an interesting role for McLeod. He played on Aaron Davey and did a very good job. So Milne's got his hands full. Even though Milne's playing the forward line, he's going to have to be ready when Adelaide get the ball. And
Danny, of course, for Milne, getting back to that goal line and out of the play where he's so dangerous.
Exactly right, Eddie.
So a bit of tactics going on. Obviously, the Crows.
It's almost a war of wills, isn't it? Just to see who's going to bend first. Get McLeod into play. Or will he stay back there just to try and, nullify Milne?
That's an interesting one because Neil Craig will want him to run off, as you say, boys, and the Saints are wanting to stay back. Here's Fiora. He loves his left foot from 50. He lines it up and just misses to the near side.
Beautiful hands by Del Santo just to release him. Then that handball travelled off. Gee, you'd be generous if you say it travelled about 18 inches, but it put him into space. There you go.
Good look away handball too. Got the blind turn in.
McLeod, a good one. McLeod runs hard. Cruises pass, not required. Goodwin goes towards the outer side wing. This is Rutten having a very good season. Bock, he's on the wing now, looking down towards half forward and Burton. Burton takes the mark a couple of metres in from the line. Saints lead it by 6. Early going. Friday night football. Burton plays on. Penetrating kick. Deep into attack. Coming back, Boss.
He had confidence then that Penny was going to keep his man grounded.
Hudson to Goddard. Awkward half volley. In fact, it may not have carried the 15 in any case. Comes to Jones. He's at left half back, looking up towards the wing. Nothing on. Has to hesitate. And boy, did he eventually. McWalter gets a hand pass back to Goddard. Takes on the would-be tackler. They're going nowhere at the moment, the Saints. Goddard gave it to Hayes, to Jones. This is interesting. Coming across, Edwards able to knock it away from Baker. Eventually, weight of numbers tell the story. Hudson gave it across to support Baker, and now Fisher goes to the outer side ring and Revolt.
Luke Penny's had a big 7.5 minutes. He's been fantastic. The ball comes into Powell now. Powell looks up, not much on. Baker runs through the middle.
You just kept going over the mark. I whistled you back. You didn't have to. I didn't call him.
Well, interesting one, that one, because Burton, as he said, put his hand up because you could see the ball was going to be released laterally, and he went to try and smother, but the umpire hadn't called play on. So there you go. That's a hard one for the players. Watch this. Burton, he's on the mark there, and then he just moved over. It's inconsequential. I don't know what the situation is.
But
with
he
that,
kept
boys.
running forward while he was moving backwards to get to the back of his mark. It was given before he actually went sideways.
Yep. So Powell's got it inside 50. Big kick for the Saints. Powell bends it back. Good kick. His first. The Saints second.
Game of the season, 3 possessions already, so acclimatised. Saints lead it by 12. They built from the back that time. Penny's been terrific back there. Dug out of the centre. Shirley went to ground. Del Santo comes away. Little chip out wide. Running onto the football box. Goes over the shoulder. Taken by Ball. Looks inside the forward 50. And Rebold didn't have to break stride.
What a great kick on the non-dominant side.
He hasn't got much to go to at the moment. You've got Ben Hudson dropping back in the hole, about 30 metres out from St Kilda's goal. Ackland will have to go in there and man him up.
He's back from the mark a bit, which means he's going to charge at it. If he's half smart here, Rebold, he can sidestep him.
Right behind him, Rebold sets it on track. Looks pretty good. Saints get another one.
To a flyer, 18 points in front. I wonder how long McLeod will stay in the opposition full-back goal square, because they're getting flogged out of the centre. Rashudo's kick was smothered, and again they get it out. This time it's Jones. The smother came from Hayes, was magnificent. A long kick from Aussie. Up it goes towards Rebold, off hands. They're all lining up front square. Goddard's got it. Out to Powell. He's kicked one already. Now he's kicked one goal. One. Ooh, I'll tell you what. Ashley Mellett would have been proud of that one.
I was thinking him too with the off spin.
Ray Bright. Old Spotty Bright would have loved that one. Or maybe Warney with a wrong one. Through for a point. Sorry, Dennis, that's your day, mate.
That's going back a ways, Ed.
This is worth a chance here on Fraser Garrick. Take him on.
It's 42 disposals to 19, by the way.
McLeod to distance and gets plenty towards midfield. Fisted forward. Shirley arrived quickly. Couldn't control the footy, though. Shirley battles on. With him is Ball. They wrestle for it. Ball wrenches it free. Well played. Del Santo gives it across to Jones. Jones to space. Will it stay in for Milne? Yes, it will. He's about 60 metres from goal. Goes down towards the pocket. Nondescript kick. Rutten uncontested. Chance to go across the ground straight to Fiora. His target was Hudson. It was a terrible kick.
I reckon Milne's saying, I knew that was going to happen. I've centred it up beautifully.
Yeah, does he get an assist for that? Milne?
What's that?
Oh, not only did he miss kick it, if he had kicked it perfectly, it still would have required one of the best kicks this game has ever seen to hit the target.
Just no margin for error there. So Fiora directly in front.
You've got to give him the Clint Eastwood rule on that one, Ed.
Exactly, Dan.
A man's got to know his limitations.
Margin currently at 19. Now it's 25. Fast start by the Saints.
From the Crows there, they got a lucky let-off and then gave it straight back. Ben Rutten will hate that one.
Yeah, they've got to tighten up on Del Santo. He's had 4 clearances so far already.
Yep, and well, here comes Hayes, who's been the hardball get boy out of the centre the last couple. Over the top of the ball is Raphael Clark, and Raph will get up with the ball under his arm. He'll be happy with that. Hard at it.
They put the brakes on here at Adelaide. They put Nathan Bassett loose man in defence now for the Crows, trying to double team St Kilda and hopefully force them wide.
Which is all very well, but they're 25 points down already. The game's just about gone.
McGregor's has gone back as well.
Okay, Edwards gets it out to Burton, who goes backwards to Rashudo, crashing through. Good tackle. Great tackle there by the Saints up towards the half-full flank position. Raphael Clark tries to crash his way through the pack, and we'll have another bounce. Great tackle. Saints going hard at it at the moment. It's good play all round. Thanks, mate.
What that leaves is Luke Penny for St Kilda. Loose man in St Kilda's defence.
Straight at it.
There's the umpire giving the directions. Plenty of players around the ball.
Play on.
Fisher did it well. Crashed through. Got it over to Fiora on his favoured left boot. Gives it a torpedo and a bounce on the full. There you go. Wasn't that favoured for him in the end.
Well, they've had a win already. They've forced them wide by that loose man for Adelaide, being in the defence.
Margin 25 points. Bassett told to play on. Bit of a surprise to him. Goes down towards half forward. The mark is taken by 20. Adelaide in real trouble at the moment. 20 looking towards a very congested half forward line in particular. Told to play on now. Goes over ball who was coming at him, and as a result just lifted the ball slightly. Not easy for the forwards. This is Ackland with support. Runnels to either side. Comes to Jones. Back to Clark. Well, they're taking a bit of time and making heavy weather of it, but Clark eventually gives it to Hayes after that slip. Comes to Fisher. He's in the back pocket. Looks towards the wing. Bosch is coming hard. Will he get there in time? Yes, he will. Very good mark. Backed himself to take it. Had it spilt, the Saints would have been in trouble. He's at right half back.
Crows have put the wall up, Dennis.
Yes, plenty of Crows around the wing. He looks back towards the middle. He's told to play on. Comes to Ackland. It bounced short of the target, or did it? No. Got his hands under the football. Just. Plays on.
Still a chance to go in at quarter time, only having the single solitary point here, Adelaide.
Swings it wide. Del Santo comes to the bouncing football. Taken across the line. Holding the ball is the call. Well,
over the boundary.
Goodwin, well, I thought he was across the line well inside the beginning of that tackle as the ball was kicked high to Penny. Grist for the mill. Penny comes away immediately to Clark. All too easy back there. They're sharing the football again. This is Jones. Comes back shy of the wing. Goodwin should mark, and he does for Adelaide.
Oh, here we go. Could be a long night, boys, watching this as the ball comes through. Here's a chance now for Biglands. Keep running as he does. Over to Shirley, over the top. Now the chance. The handball comes out to Edwards. He goes another handball. They threw it away. Thompson just lost the ball completely, and he was robbed of it then by Del Santo, who clears to the outer side. Boss is marked on defensive 50. Goddard provides a lead. Ball comes up as well. He chips over the top. Finds Hudson, who put out the one hand and took the mark. Now, Danny, your thoughts, because you said they've dropped the man back, and the loose man now is Bock at centre-half back. But in the meantime, Penny is back there taking anything that comes in.
Well, it's disappointing from Adelaide's point of view because they're not going to score. They're not going to score a goal. What Neil Craig's trying to do is just make sure they go in quarter time only 4 goals down.
Well, Edwards might make them pay here. Raphael Clark took his eye off the ball and made them pay with one behind. Well, they were lucky on that occasion.
Well, just on that end, they're going to have to fabricate their goals like that if they're going to play loose man back in the back line.
I think Craigie at the moment thinks it's a matter of hanging on and not having an 8-goal margin at quarter time.
There's Goddard, still over 7.5 minutes till quarter time. He goes out very wide. Hudson, he's at right half back. Again, the Crows back in number. Not very attractive. Hudson trying to spot that ball to Fiora. As you can see, he drew a crowd of Crows. Burton across to Perry. Perry, the little chip pass, barely the 15. Rashudo's taken the mark. Well, they're in the zone, you could argue that. The Crows, unfortunately, we're talking about the South Australian time zone. They trail by 30 minutes. Virtually haven't started yet. Nondescript footy. We've said that a couple of times as the ball goes down towards the pocket. And this is where their problems really start to accumulate. It's out of bounds in the pocket and will be thrown in.
Well, they look up, Dennis, and all they see is Penny in front of the square, so they have to go to the pockets.
Aussie Jones also has had 10 possessions, 9 handball received. Geez, they've missed his run the last couple of weeks. He's having a great quarter.
Yeah, Matner was started on him and he's come off.
Michael Dowding's on him now.
Yep. Tim, you made the good point before about Neil Craig just trying to hold on. We'll have a look in a moment as the kick goes forward up towards the goal square now. Getting back as Hudson, though, taking the mark. Really putting the brakes on as St Kilda looked like they were going to absolutely run away with this game.
Well, it's just a matter. If he can go in at half-time, just a 4-goal margin, I think he'd take that.
Powell knocks it away from Tawney. It's picked up by Ball in game number 50. Intercepted by Tawney. Here's a chance now for the Crows. Have they got anyone down there? See? 2 against 1. Will it be 2 against 2? Just on the last second did it come that way. Edwards bustled over the line and out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
Having said that too, Ed, Adelaide, since they've come up and they've just made this big press into their backline, they're playing more contested footy. They're actually putting better pressure on St Kilda, and that's making St Kilda fumble a little bit in the last 2-3 minutes. Not going on the scoreboard for them though yet.
Slow down, a bit of jumper holding. Powell got it away to Clark. Raphael gives the handball away. Nice play to Hayes, the 1-2. Runs into trouble though. He's been dispossessed. Umpire said it was knocked out in the tackle. Play on. Jones kicks up towards Reebok. Gets an ordinary bounce, but he did it beautifully. Kept his composure. Then got away to Ball, who beat 3 tackles. Great play to Goddard. Quick hands. Was magnificent. Out to Hayes. Hayes now kicks it up to the forward 50. Now the Crows have got the numbers up here. McGregor's dropped back. He couldn't hold the mark, and he's in a ton of trouble now. Umpires love this. And umpire Goldsmith wasn't going to miss the opportunity.
Just happy to lie on it, Kenny. You've got to knock it out, mate.
That's the decision.
Now, Del Santo will look to pass off here, but Garrick's got to get back first. The one thing Del Santo did cleverly then, he hooked his leg in, so that blocked one avenue for Kenny McGregor to knock it out. So he had both hands on him and a leg in there as shelter as well.
Good umpiring by umpire Darren Goldspin. Gave him plenty of time, and as he said, you just lay on top of it. So, Del Santo against the run of play in the last 5 minutes. Drop short. Oh, beautiful play. Mills got it. Rebolt with the assist. That was fantastic stuff.
Tunist right in front of the pack. He's kicked 23-6 this season now. Very active out of that forward pocket.
What about his last 17 shots on goal have been 16-1.
That's an unbelievable. That's about 94%, 95%.
Burton over the football, in trouble. Fiora takes him down. In goes Hayes.
No, it came back out. No.
The umpire calls for it as we go down to Tony Jones.
Yes, Dennis and Raph Clark possibly paying the price for a couple of little mistakes there. He's been on the phone to Grant Thomas, and Raph wasn't saying too much.
Margin 30 points. Approaching quarter time. Very early and very high was Blake. Biglands knocks it about 15 metres. Del Santo towards the boundary. Goodwin feeds it back to Thompson. Smothered off the foot brilliantly by Ball. And out it goes. Hard-working Wood Ball. Turns 21 next Wednesday. Boundary throw in. Just outside the 50 for Adelaide. Biglands and Blake. Blake works in front. Biglands with his strength hooks it down behind. Rashudo taken down. Trying to feed it out. Goodwin. On the deck beneath Thompson. Coming through Shirley. Rashudo. Bulldog by Fiora. Eventually an opportunity for Blake. He's claimed by Burton. Going nowhere. And in slow motion they take a tumble.
Miscalculated here. Said with 10 minutes to go in this quarter, they might just stay 1 point. I was 100% out. They've doubled it to 2 points.
Any further advances, Derm?
I reckon they'll be lucky to get to 3.
All right, ball.
For the quarter.
Hoiks it out of the pack and over the line on centre wing for a throw in.
It was the big thing going into the game, who was going to kick the goals for Adelaide. And obviously up the other end, you got Rewald, Garrick, you got Voss hitting up.
Xavier Clark sitting in there with Michael Long to the right-hand side. Ambassador for the AFL and the Indigenous football. Doing a great job at AFL level and one of the most popular people in the history of the game, Michael Long. Ball up on centre wing. As you can see, just under 3 3/4 minutes left in this opening term, dominated by St Kilda, leading by 5 goals. Del Santo, another stat. That one was a tap. Bigland tried to get it out. Over the top of the ball was Doughty, and he is wrapped up by 3 Saints. We'll have a bounce.
Let's go, boys.
Very slow getting up here. What's going on? A bit of pushing and shoving off the ball, and umpire Goldspin's seen it from 100 metres, and he's dashed in.
Oh, it's on the agenda.
He was not going to let that one go.
Let's take it was Stuart Wynn. There you go, little rib tickler, and Stuart Wynn 100 metres away saw it and came in and gave the free kick. Well, Burton's been a bit undisciplined giving away the free kick on that occasion and also the 50 earlier, but he's a little bit stiff. Rutten runs into trouble. The handball goes back to Bassett, a sweeping handball inside. Let's see if the Crows can get something going hard. Oh, it's a shocking handball. Here comes the turnover. Matner under pressure, gets it away. The Crows trying to get it out of that area. They've had about 5 possessions and moved to 20 metres. Rutten again over the top. It sits badly for Rashudo. Beautiful play by Lenny Hayes. Tennessee can get some play going.
Baker down towards half forward. Revolt, sorry, no, it's out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
Nothing.
Well, that's great play from... that's great play there from St Kilda. There's a free kick there.
Powell was in, maybe just cleaning his stops.
Big pack around the ball against, should be against him too high. That'll be against Bassett.
I saw you, Nathan.
A week is a long time in football.
Well, Powley does niggle, and I would have little doubt that Powley started that, and Bassett's gone to shrug him off and gone too high.
Hello to Chris Judd tonight.
Yeah, 65 metres out. Powell sets it very high in the Revolt direction. In from the side, Burton. Big grab, plays on immediately, releases McLeod in the back pocket, swings it out wide. Opportunity for Hart now to Thompson. Running away from half-back. Not much on offer. Forced to hold the ball. Now he kicks. Well, you can see his problem. Gathered brilliantly by Jones. Confronted there by Edwards. Jarred it loose. Ball has got it now inside the centre square. Goes down towards half forward. Well, how did Milne get so free? 52 metres out. Kicks straight into McLeod. It's about 40 metres out from goal. McLeod goes to ground. He was pushed in the back.
Now, look, McLeod being the superstar that he is, and even though he knows Milne is dangerous, because he is so good, McLeod, he actually instinctively will not give Milne the respect he deserves in this type of form.
Biglan's in the opposite back pocket. It's a hand pass away to Bassett. Bassett, and he's back to his own goal. Comes back to Biglan's. Less than convincing once more. Hart. Touch of skill, touch of class. Goes towards the half-forward line. Jones, well, they're picking him out at the moment. The hand pass is untidy, but he follows up his own work. Gathers the ball at right half-back. Does a U-turn, knowing there's plenty of numbers behind him, and gives it to Fisher.
Fisher called the play on no 15. He goes up the line. Blake takes the mark.
I might have been right with the 2 points there, Ed.
You might be, Doom. We've got a minute, just over a minute. They might let you down. You've wrapped them up, Doom. The loss on him. Penny's there. He did a 360. Couldn't quite pick it up. That's a free kick. Sure.
Now they're a show.
Now they're a show. Against Hudson, dived in on top of the pack and gave away the free kick.
Now Riley went for it. Got him too high. What type of kick?
5 goals, 2 for the season. 10 goals, 11 in his career, Dermot.
Yeah, more running type goals, and the roving in close rather than for a set shot from out from pretty deep.
Yeah, he'll have to kick this 53 metres.
He's going to have a few tall blokes on the line, so it's going to have to carry. It's going to have to be a high 50-metre kick.
So Brent Riley coming in for what he hopes will be his 6th goal of the season, and Adelaide Crows first for the night. They trail by 5 goals. Gives it a good roost, and it's not going to be online, is it? Oh, it just stuck through it. Bent back, he's got it. He did all the above. Goal to the Crows.
Saints leaded by 24 points now. Belated goal. Look at somebody coming from behind.
Del Santo in the centre here. When we get the one here of the view, here's him on the right-hand side of the screen. He just keeps winning the ball. Now he's just signalled over to his teammate Graham. Come through behind me if I get it.
Tap down. Well done to McGough. Blake. Terrific work, but Revolt couldn't get on the end of it. Bassett goes out wide to Burton. Now breaking hard is Edwards. It goes in that direction. Just hangs up a little bit. Showed enough of it to Peckett to get a first on it. Brilliantly done. Stumbling was Burton. Final seconds of the term. Goodwin gets a hand pass away to McGregor to Biglan's. Can he find a target? No. Now Matner in a race against the footy and the clock here. Goes inside the forward 50. Doughty, can he get on the end of it? No. Knocked away by Baker. We're down to the siren. Well, fitting really that Adelaide working overtime as the siren rang, because that's been the story of their term, particularly in the forward half. Lack of numbers making it terribly hard for those that are down there. And at quarter time, the Saints lead on Friday Night Football 5-2 to 1-2.
Sure, they kicked the first 5 goals of the game, and Riley got the first for the Crows at the 27-minute mark of the first term. The Saints by 4 goals at quarter time. And don't worry about Neil Craig. He left nothing to the imagination. He got into the Crows from the moment he walked out onto the ground. He gave them an absolute serve. We've had to actually edit this to get it all in. Then he stopped for a little while, went to the whiteboard, and he came back for 3rd goes. And did not miss anybody in the Adelaide Crows lineup. As you can see, the old David Parkin jugular standing out on his neck there. The other side of the huddle. Well, you can imagine Grant Thomas was reasonably happy the way things were going there. He just wants more of the same. We'll hear from the boys in a moment. In the meantime, Danny Frawley joins us as special commentator tonight. Danny, your thoughts?
Well, the Saints come out full of running. It's hard to believe that Adelaide have been inside their 50, 12-11. There's Luke Penny. He's been loose man of events. Now, they put the brakes on Neil Craig and Adelaide, but that's still a win for St Kilda. Why? Because you've got Brett Voss and Rewalt up the other end and Garrick and Milne deep. in Adelaide's forward line, when they look up, all they see is Luke Penny, and all due respect, you've got Ian Perry and Scotty Welsh. So St Kilda have got 4 or 5 options to cut that loose man, where Adelaide go forward, and they're a long-kicking team, so it's just playing into St Kilda's hands.
Kicked off pretty quick.
I think they've just got to get on the front foot and attack.
McGregor as a forward lasted for about 10 minutes. Now, Doom, the clearances. Have a look at this.
Oh, look, they really smacked them in the clearances there in the first quarter, 10-3. And it was Del Santo. He got 4 of those clearances out of the middle.
Tony Jones, boundary side, Tone.
Yes, we saw Neil Craig there, and expect to see a more ferocious Adelaide, that's for sure. What he said, Eddie, was this, just very quickly before the bounce. He said nothing changes from the start of the game. He said keep control in the air and on the ground. You must play competitive football at all times. He urged them, be strong, go at them strong.
Second term Friday night football. Hudson knocks it down. Risciuto kicking towards half forward. Baker works off his man Thompson and goes and finds the footy in trouble. Had it a long time for Yora, cleverly. Got it down to the boys. Hudson a hand pass away to Del Santo. In trouble. Looping hand pass for Yora. Played it cagily. Socket off the ground. Burton ricochets off Del Santo. Out of bounds on the full.
Good call.
It's bad luck. Burton's got the free though. And he's back now to Hudson, having a very good season. Very short kick. Bounces to Perry, who was standing about 10 metres away. Hudson, fixed him. Fiora's over the football, falling to the ground. Coughs it up, though. Edwards hard against the boundary line. Goes to half forward. Going back, Shirley. Could have been held, was held. He's 55 metres out. He wants to move it quickly. He plays on. He's gone wide of the mark. There's no call to play on. He goes in and finds Welsh on the lead.
Finally got there, and when Hudson looked up the first time, he couldn't go long because 55 metres down the line he saw Kane Ackland, who's opposite number, just standing there with no one near him, so it would have been an easy acceptance. So he honours Perry's lead. Pretty untidy, pretty messy, but it ends up with a hard lead from Welsh. A lead, first time they've had a definitive lead besides McGregor's in the first quarter.
Scott Welsh, who started on the bench tonight, kicking from about 45. Heads it out to the right, but good enough. They get their second.
So we've got back-to-back goals. The last of the first of the second, and back within 3 goals now in the match. Big tap from Ackland, but it's been intercepted, and forward go the Crows again. Edwards almost got it on the half volley. Good tackle though. Now the ball spills out wide to Baker. Baker, chip kick was great. Out to Fiora, wants to come back onto his left boot. Has runners in the middle of the ground. Del Santo is one, and the other one is that man, Powell, who marks. First game for the season for Stephen Powell. He gets the handball away. Fiora's been busy. Comes out wide to Baker. Baker between wing and half-back flank. The 7th possession, brings it in. Moving forward by inches at the moment. Qualter. Kick was towards Revolt, but it's cut off by Bassett, and away go the Crows.
Bach, it's a good one from centre half back to half forward. Welsh, got a few steps there on Hudson. Long way up the ground, alongside the centre circles. He kicks inside the forward 50. Downey favoured by the kick, going back in the pocket, lays it off. McLeod giving conjure some magic here. Had a good look, but misses to the near side.
Well, that might Jason Brown.
Yeah, it was really good running from McLeod too. He just took off, got on his bike. He did a 150-metre sprint then.
Things starting to turn ever so slightly. 17 points the difference. St Kilda just a bit befuddled by the style of play they're encountering as Baker comes up to the wing and Del Santo juggles the mark, but the interchange goes. And generally the Saints have had problems from here. The precision seems to go out of their game. In midfield they're doing pretty well. It's this move to half forward, albeit plenty of Crows back there. Goes looking for Revolt, who opted out of the contest there. It spills to McLeod, goes to Hudson, back to McLeod. McLeod spots Risciuto. He's forward left half back, lays it off to Tawney. Tawney to Thompson, honouring the movement now. The kick towards Burton, clever mark. Stood his ground, he's right on the 50. Indecision there, almost cost him. Edwards goes in short. McGregor, timely fist from Hudson. Perry comes again for the Crows. Taken down, head down, McWalter. Well played by Hayes, they work it away for Yora. He got it from Baker, and now Hayes swings it out wide, close to the boundary line. Trapped by Voss, all the time in the world. Revolt, can he mark this one? No. Good result for the Crows that it's on the ground, and the big man too was on the ground. Revolt, Hudson gave it to Hart. Pushing through half-back Goodwin, and once more spots a target in midfield. Doughty to Matner. Full-chested Matner goes looking for McGregor. There again was Hudson. Step for step, the consummate defender, and he thumps it out of bounds.
Gentlemen, it's been 7 inside 50s to 1 in favour of Adelaide since the 26-minute mark of the first term.
Third time this quarter we've seen a definite lead up from centre-half forward that's been honoured. And Ken McGregor, look, he's a good player, but Max Hutchins got him covered all day long for pace off the mark.
Ackland got a good tap down to Goddard, to Del Santo. Went to ground, back up again quickly. Hayes, the quick handball was a good one. Away go the Saints now. Graham gets it going. Over to Ball. Ball to the forward 50. Revolt just outside the forward 50. Good play from behind. The Crows now have got the numbers up the wing, and Burton has been busy. Gets it going to Tawney. Tawney. Handball's off. Shirley. Kicks to centre half forward. Edwards.
Good hit. Honouring that lead again.
Out to Rashuda. Now they're a chance, the Crows. He can run and bomb from 55. It's a long bomb. It's a goal. They've kicked the last 3. The Crows, they're back.
Adelaide's forward line's open here. Got McGregor, Welsh, Perry, Edwards. It's a lot more open and there's a lot of movement, so they're starting to honour every lead up in the Adelaide forward line. This is good coaching from Neil Craig.
Remarkable transformation this. The margin 11 points. Ackland battles there with Hudson. Hudson did well. Got it to Goodwin. Rashudo out wide. Matner. Now Doughty runs to 60 metres out. Lines up. Sends it long. Penny needs to be careful. Doesn't matter.
Now that's how Ken McGregor's going to mark it. Well, against Penny that time, but on the lead he's been gobbled up by Max Hudson. Now he is one bloke who they should say go long to.
Yeah, and that's the time you go long. When you got McGregor one out, get it in there long and strong.
As long as Scotty Welsh leads out and takes that man.
It's a good setup.
Kicked the last 3. He's goalless this season. No longer. Steers it through. Adelaide coming on strong.
Last 2 without St Kilda touching the ball. 5 points after they led by 30 points at the 20-minute mark of the first quarter. We're now 8 1/4 minutes into the second, and they've got it again. Shirley. They have dominated possession. Look at this. The Birdman's got away. Burton's got it. Wants to cut inside. He does. The Matner who spent it before he had it. Suddenly he's got himself clear again. The ball spills out to Hart. Well, that could have been 3 goals on the trot without a touch from the Saints, except he sprayed the kick out wide at the full. And a temporary reprieve for St Kilda from the last line of defence.
Well, the reason why Burton got that, Fiora dropped back. St Kilda are now putting a man back, so they use Burton up through the middle of the ground, which is good play.
Here's Penny. Takes on McGregor. His kick wanders outside the defensive 50. Rashudo's got it, though, 65 metres out. It's coming back in. He's looking for Edwards, marginally back in. Well, he's got it 52 metres out as things stand, but he hooks it down towards full forward. Drifting back is McGregor. Off the ball, there's some holding, and it's going to Baker.
Yeah, held down.
It's amazing, though, when footballers trust their instincts and start to run and do the thing that comes naturally.
He's targeted every week, Stevie Baker.
Got the free kick here. He comes out to Graham.
By the good players, Dennis. They tag him.
They do. Rough him up. Here's Fiora.
Yeah, feel sorry for him.
Shy of the wing. Gets a hand pass to Hayes. One of the few forays forward. But it ends with nothing except two on his chest. Bock has been very good back there, doing remarkably well on Revolt. Swings it out to Hart. And again, suddenly the movement is fluent. This is Hart. Beyond half back to the wing. Speared the pass into Goodwin. Goodwin's got it then. Looking to half forward. Half distance pass. Bounces to McLeod. Took on Powell. Got away. McWalter though. Blanketed the hand pass. Back comes Powell. Locked in a battle with McLeod. Pion's the call. Goodwin. Crowd not happy. Penetrating kick. Ackland was up in front. Dragged down. They're going to get a free here.
Dennis, it's been 10-1 inside 50s this quarter in favour of Adelaide, and this quarter disposals 51-31 in favour of the Adelaide Crows.
A free kick to the Saints there. Burton gets back. Crowd incensed. Burton from 55. How will it bounce? Del Santo cleverly controlled it to his own advantage. Lays it off to Hayes. Hayes gets out of trouble. 2 men on the wing. Powell marks. Hard against the boundary line. Looking towards half-forward. Revolt has been well held, not this time. Well, his confidence may be down. Bock tumbles into Voss. Stumbling away down there was Bassett. Bassett goes back on Voss, and that ball doesn't come out, despite the best intentions of several players. Holding the ball! Out of all of that.
Saints free kick. You had the opportunity there. Yeah, you grabbed hold of it. You didn't try to get it out.
Ooh, tough that one. Stewie went on the scene.
Crows have got plenty of numbers back here.
But they're being consistent, the umpires. If you hold on to it, they'll give it. So ball with a nice chip kick inside. Let's have a look at this again. It was there for a long time.
Handball, then he doesn't release it.
Yeah. So far for the Saints this quarter, Jones, Garrick, Revolt and Milne without a touch. He hasn't been up forward though, that's why.
11-2 inside 50s, Ed, and I would hazard a guess out of those 11 with Adelaide. 7 times out of those 11 they'd have gone straight through the front edge of the centre square.
Jason Blake's kicked 1 goal this season. And it stays that way. He's now kicked 1 goal, 1 for the year. And that was a bad shot at goal. So the Saints are under the hammer at the moment. That's their first score of the quarter. Alicia Mollick enjoying the action here. Good friend of Fraser Garrick. And recovering from an inner ear infection, which has kept her off the international tennis circuit for the last month or so.
Good one. Got it from Matner. Finds Perry. Now Rashudo inside the centre square. Around the corner, Doughty. He's been handy on the forward line in this term. Goes to Goodwin. Over the top to Welsh. Tried to go back to Burton. Burton sockers it off the ground. Dangerous situation for the Saints. Edwards runs on it, but kicks another one.
Scores are level, and the Adelaide Crows have kicked the last 5 goals of the game after St Kilda kicked the first 5. All right, we'll start again. Blake goes in over the top. Can you believe it? 5 goals to the Saints to lead by 30 points. 5 goals to the Crows, and scores are level at the 13.5-minute mark of the second quarter. Up towards Garrick, who got a fingernail on the top of it. It spills to Milne. Oh, he went without it. He dropped the ball. Under pressure, he's still in there, but they get it out through Matner, who ducks his head and says, go! He kicks to his captain, and Rashudo holds up play.
He does that type of thing occasionally, Milne.
Was he trying to sell the dummy?
No, he just dropped it.
He cold-sputtered it. He bought it himself.
Since the 27-minute mark of the first quarter, I'll tell you the stats in a moment, because over it goes. Here's a chance now for Perry. He flicks it over the top. The kick forward is another goal. Is it for Adelaide? It is. It's a goal to Thompson. They've hit the front. The kick 6 on a row. Adelaide are on fire.
Mr. Bean Christmas special, but the Crows will take it. 6-3, 5-3. Remarkable stuff. They lead by 6 points. Hudson has been very important. Rashudo down inside the 50. Thompson who got the last goal. Darty upended by Baker. Baker hasn't got the football. He'll get the free kick.
Definitely buzzes through there.
Yeah, he's picked on, isn't he?
Yeah, he didn't have the ball.
Boys, since the 27-minute mark, it's been 73 to 40 disposals, inside 50s, 14 to 3, and goals 6-0, all in favour of Adelaide.
Aussie Jones running it out. Everything has dried up for the Saints.
They're hugging the boundary now, the Saints.
Ball in front, takes the mark. So initially the rope-a-dope from the Crows, and now they've opened up. I mentioned before, instinctive football. Not sure what it proves, though.
Well, Ed, you're right. St Kilda just have to get their hands on the ball. They can't control the game if you haven't got the ball.
Yep.
Adelaide are controlling it.
They've been snipped out of the centre for a start this quarter, whereas Del Sando controlled it in their quarter 1.
Towards the half-forward line, good mark by Voss. Just raising the question, though, Durham, do you have to have the first quarter to have the second quarter if you're the Saints? Does that make sense? Confuse, or rather the Crows, confuse the Saints as Bock goes back doing wonderfully well down there.
I reckon Grant Thomas would be confused, Dennis.
Yeah, there's confusion all round. As this kick comes back towards the wing, from behind ball, Shirley going to ground, trying to knock it through there, McLeod. Let's go down to Tony Jones.
I know it's the players out there, Dennis, but Neil Craig can take a lot of credit for this revival. That quarter-time address we spoke about was just inspirational stuff. It was all positive, hardly any negatives in there, and they're responding.
Well, he liked what he saw, just maybe not the execution. And up goes Biglands. He got the tap. The Saints are under the hammer, as we said. Voss, crunch. Biglands is a big man, and he made him feel it. Another ball up.
What I mean by Grant Thomas being confused, he'd be confused with the lack of effort from St Kilda. First quarter they were sensational. This quarter they just haven't looked like it.
The easy run not there at the moment.
Blocked him!
And blocking was the call against Blake, so Biglands gets the free kick.
It's almost an estimation that the umpire has to make there. Could Blake have actually reached the ball where he stood and decided to shelter the drop of it?
McLeod up to Perry to get the free kick. Off hands, here we go again, it's opened up. Dowdy into the open goal, now he gives it off to Edwards, trying to find some space. He gets the handball across, tackled there was Riley. Now that was good play by the Saints defence because they were away, the Crows, and held them up. And that would have been an absolute shocker for them had that one got away.
So Jason Graham was very lucky then. Michael Dowdy just pushed forward and found space.
He was away, just couldn't get it away. Biglands gives away the free kick. There you go, good call by the umpire. So Blake gets it at centre-half back for the Saints. 7.25 minutes gone in this term, and Derm, can St Kilda get a point or a goal? What do you reckon this time?
Well, they're looking like they can't score now. Well, it depends on this grab.
It's on Derm Lotto. As Revolt takes the mark.
Get in there quickly, got one-on-one, St Kilda.
Between tonight, Revolt to space. Gehrig hasn't been down his end very often in this term. Down goes McLeod. Over the top was Jones, held in there by Matner. We'll have a bounce about 45 metres out.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle down the right-hand side of screen tonight. Can't score down there.
No wind advantage, is there?
Biglands did very well down his Shirley. Tawney now across the ground. Bock.
Where's he go? He's got the athleticism to run with Revolt.
Comes away from half-back. Finds Thompson. Goes across the ground with precision. Riley. What about Dowdy? Goes longer now to Tawney. Tawney inside the forward 50, intended for Wells. Pushes off Hudson. Hudson right there with him. Shrugs the tackle out as Wells. Looks back towards the middle. Goodwin won't get to the contest. And Blake will get a free kick.
Sorry, Dennis. Where's St Kilda probably lagging a bit? Robert Harvey. I know he's 33, but Paul Del Santo and Hayes don't get a spell. When Robert Harvey comes in, he's able to give those guys a spell, and they really fuel in the boundary line. They're running out of legs a little bit in the middle.
Well, they've got Powell on the bench to come on and try and do that for them, but he's sitting there still now.
Yora's long kick up to Gehrig, who did it well. Now he's got the handball going to Hayes, who runs the 55, chips to Revolt, who marks in the pocket. Well, the Saints need their skipper to lift here and kick a goal. 5.5 minutes to go in this second term, and this is the best chance for the Saints since Blake missed a relatively easy chance earlier in the term. In comes Nick Revolt, has kicked 6 goals, 8 for the season. Since 2002, you can see he's pretty good from this position. Except on that occasion. Another behind us in Kilda. They've only kicked 2 behinds for this term as opposed to the Adelaide Crows, who have kicked 5 goals, 1.
Only 5 possessions for Nick Revolt. And certainly he's the focus when they go forward. Bock has done a remarkable job. Jericho's got it now towards the wing. Skipworth just on the ground takes the mark. Everything falling into place for the Crows. Riley inside the forward 50. Welsh was in front to get the free.
That was an early hold.
Maxey is indignant.
Around him. You can't go to the ball if you've got your arms around him, okay? That makes it easy.
Right about there, Maxey lost his footing, moved into him, and thought if he gets a clean run of it, I've lost my direction in the run. He's going to mark it easy, so he tries to put a bit of contact on him and get away with it.
And good stuff by Goldie there as well, not giving a 50-metre penalty despite the anguish of Max Hudson.
The margin was 24 points at quarter time against the Crows. They now lead by 11.
About St Kilda in the first term, we now say about the Adelaide Crows. They're dominating out of the centre. They've got plenty of forward options and they're kicking all the goals. They've kicked the last 7 of the game, the only 6 of the term, and they lead by 11 points. 4 minutes 20 left on the clock. St Kilda have not been able to score a goal this quarter at all. In fact, only 2 behinds, and Fiora, who danced beautifully in the first term, suddenly got 2 left feet.
And he froze then in the headlights.
Exactly, 2 left feet, no right foot. That's the problem, as Danny Frawley said, as Matner now gets it out. to the magician. McLeod goes forward. The kick was an ordinary one on that occasion, however. It spills for Clark at the back, who gets the handball going to McGough. McGough, whose kick was wobbling left, right and centre. Found the mark in the end. Clark kept running, just escaped the grass there of Perry. Out to the wing position. They need to make something of it here, the Saints. The mark's been taken by Goddard. Revolt gives one lead. Bosch leads back. Goddard decides to kick long. Revolt's the man. Bosch from behind. They're all up high. It's punched away. Off hands. Edwards has had a great quarter. Front and back. Gets the handball away. Bassett under pressure. Kept his head over the ball. Was great play. Hart now flicks it out. Bassett has to beat the tackle. He does. Gave Hayes one for good measure. Now it spills out to Matner. Matner goes inside 50. Down it comes towards Walsh, who beat him over the head. Who's going to win the race for the ball backwards? Baker's there. Where did he go? In trouble. He's in trouble. He is gone. No, says umpire Goldspink.
What a tackle. That is copybook.
Thompson.
Oh, what a tackle from behind by Thompson. In fact, over the last month, I think he's lying about 6th in the league for tackles. Works hard, that boy.
I tell you what, had the third man not come in for the Crows, they probably would have got the free kick. Baker, close to the boundary line, wants it and gets it at the fence of 50. And the Saints are under enormous pressure here at the Telstra Dome.
That is it. Just run a tape over that one, Dennis, that tackle, and send it out to every junior footy club how you do it from when you're running down someone from behind.
Well, I think the decision was right, having said all of that. Baker had just taken the ball and suddenly Thompson had him pin the ball. Boundary throw in. Neil Craig must be delighted. We saw him at quarter time. He didn't spare anybody.
Bench press.
All across the boundary line. In fact, I thought he was out of bounds, but you can hear the umpire. Obviously, he was a step inside. Let's go down to the boundary. Tony Jones.
Yeah, well, Box done a pretty good job on Revolt, hasn't he? He's now off having a bit of a rest, but Greg has got the job on the big Saint.
Well, it was interesting there. Had Goodwin fallen over, he probably wouldn't have given away the free kick. Well, the kick comes out from Fiora. St Kilda, by the way, has not had a goalless quarter since round 11, 2003 against Brisbane. They've got 2 minutes to try and get a goal. McQualter.
Adelaide set up behind it. Hudson straight down the line, so they're going to have to go short or very wide.
There's no one behind McQualter on the ground. So they've got back, they've flooded back. Revolt's had a dirty night so far, kept it in play, almost cleaned up the boundary umpire and the camera person.
Oh, it was a big twist.
And in the end, the umpire said it was out of bounds. Let's have a look. Well, I don't know if it was. And that's a good call from that boundary umpire because he was 20 metres behind and blocked by 3 different people.
I think he got it right.
He had a guess. Throw in. Inside 2 minutes left on the clock. Hudson got the tap. It comes down to Fiora. To Hayes. Hayes goes long up towards Revolt. Gets the front spot. Can't hold the mark. Off hands. Picked up by Skipworth. Got it away to McGregor. Blake intercepted. McGough good hands to Hayes. Now a chance for Revolt.
Inside the forward 50, but wide of the mark. Goddard can't get there. Succeeds only in spilling it across the line. That look says it all, doesn't it?
Looks very tired, Nick Rewald. He's had to do a lot of work. He's probably been double teamed, and that was a sign of a very tired play. Can't wait for half-time to come, I think.
Throw in right on the 50. See the time remaining in the margin. Adelaide by 11. Inconceivable this could have happened watching that first term, but it has. Revolt slips it away. McGough 65 metres out, goes down towards the pocket. Gehrig presented with a hopeless task. No margin there at all for the leading forward. Bassett across the ground to Jericho. Jericho swings it out wide. Well-weighted kick. Matner slipping in behind Jones. Cruising past. A man can take the ball now. He has. That's Tawney. Tawney up ahead to Rashudo. Forward of the wing. Chips it out wide. Right half forward. McLeod inside the last minute of the first half. Kick down towards full forward. Getting back Fisher.
Disposals this quarter, boys, inside 50, 19-2 Adelaide's way. 19-2. The Saints have actually scored with their 2 4As, 2 points. Wow.
That is a belting.
That is a shellacking.
In a quarter.
Perry over the top. Penny got his hand to the ball. He thought it was so easy in the first quarter. Not so easy now as Powell runs into a brick wall. And that brick wall was Michael Doughty, who's had a wonderful term. 20 seconds left, and the Saints are not going to score a goal, you would have thought. You'll think from here.
What a good tackle.
The first time since round 11, 2003, having kicked the first 5 goals of the game to lead by 30 points. They haven't kicked one since. In the meantime, the Crows have kicked 7.
Now, if there's one to Shirley in the first quarter over the shoulder, you would think that's similar.
Well, we can have a good look at that at half-time, because St Kilda fans came here and thought, you beauty, we're about to go 5 and 4 and maybe get a bit of percentage for the ladder to add for good measure. And at half-time, they go in 11 points down.
Well, they are 5 and 4.
They are indeed.
The crowd is 7 and 3.
Exactly. That's not what you want to see. It's 5 and 4 versus 7 and 3, as Dennis said. 11 points the difference, the Adelaide Crows, who kicked a late goal in the first term, and we thought, well, that might be it for a while. Well, they've kicked the next 6. It's unbelievable. 7 consecutive goals to the Adelaide Crows to lead by 11 points. Mark Ricciuto, a happier man. So too will his coach be, Neil Craig, when he greets him at the half-time break. We'll be back right after this. Friday Night Football. This is AFL on 9.
Now towards half forward, clears the pack, arriving quickly. Thompson trying to get the hand pass across. Skipworth went to ground. Ditto ball, and again Thompson got him. Play on's the call. McWalter drives the Saints towards right half back with an element of danger. Goddard got a hand to it. Burton leads back in the race. He's over the football. Goddard's over him. And they fight a draw on the ground, at least initially. The call is knock it out, but easier said than done. We'll have a bounce.
Andrew McLeod's gone forward now with Steve Bacon tagging him. So the Adelaide coaching staff are opening up full throttle, putting McLeod forward.
Once again, what a great tackle by Scotty Thompson.
That was the hallmark of Adelaide in the second term. Harassing, tackling. Free kick was going the Saints' way against Hudson.
Now, with Penny and Hudson in the goal square as defenders, it leaves one of the most inexperienced other 4 backmen in the league playing out across the half-back line, which Adelaide are trying to exploit.
Probing kick from Ackland. Runs loose at the back of the leading player. Now an opportunity for Del Santo. Slips it away to Voss under pressure. Gets the kick off. It wanders down towards full forward and Milne. He's marked 20 metres out in a slight angle.
Good strong grab.
He's a strong little unit, isn't he, for a tiny little fella?
That'll go down as a contested mark, which is something he's not known for, but stood his ground well.
Well, he's kicked, what, 16 out of his last 17 shots at goal. He's made count now, so this is a soda for him.
Just pushed Tawney under the ball there. Yeah, just took his space.
He's kicked 11-1 from set shots this year, going at his second tonight. The first off hands, about a metre out. Now he's got 2.
It's almost tax time.
Was on Milne for the first half of the game, now on Baker at the other end. And, well, believe it or not, Milne's kicked the last 2 goals for St Kilda. The last one was at the 20-minute mark of the first term. This is the 2nd-minute mark of the 3rd term. And can you believe it? There's been 1 goal kicked to the right of screen. 1 goal kick of 13 for the night. And away go the Saints again. Powell. It sits awkwardly for him. Now he's got it. Inside 50 he goes. A high up and under. It was an ordinary kick, but it's going to be a 50. Revolt ran about 50 metres to get to it. And Nick Revolt, who kicked one earlier in the first quarter, from outside 50 on a tighter angle, is a good thing to put the Saints back in front.
It was really good play there from Aussie Jones, knowing that Revolt was coming in. Thought, I'll cramp if there's a spillage and allow Revolt to take a contested mark, which he's very good at.
What about the kick from Powell, though? It was a shank, but had he placed it there on purpose, we would have said it was perfect.
He likes this end. He's kicked 2. 2 goals, 1. Saints hit the front.
He made his debut against these Crows, round 15, 2001, right here at the Dome. Alfred Blight's last game.
That's the man sitting out the back. It goes out the other direction.
Yeah, Shirley got it. Downey to Hart. Little chip wide. Good one. His eye on the foot. He took a good grab to Edwards. Goes back in towards the middle. Downey liked his second turn. He was a catalyst in many respects up forward. Now Goodwin on the overlap. Penetrating kick is a beauty.
And
Walsh is marked.
Sorry, Danny, you had all that space. You recognised the ball was going there.
And probably from that position on the ground, there's probably 2 Adelaide Crows who could put the ball there.
And Maxie Hudson was just ball watched just for half a second. You're watching the ball, he lost contact of where his direct opponent was, and when that, as you said, that kick goes out to the fat side, very hard to defend.
Welsh has put it 2 tonight. Simon Goodwin 17 possessions. Important kick this one to regain the lead for the Crows, and he's done it.
In this third term, we've only been going 6 minutes, but Adelaide reclaim the lead by 5 points. And Goodwin in amongst it again, the old 1-2. Beautiful kick to Welsh, who scored his third, as Dennis said. There's Goodwin again in amongst it, trying to get the handball out, kept his feet. He goes a second time for the tackle on top of Del Santo. Dr. Peter Larkins has some news, Pete.
Yeah, Sam Fisher, still in this quarter, got a knock on his elbow and he's had numbness down the hand and fingers there. His physio's checked him. He's just getting some feeling back in the hand, but he luckily hasn't been in a contest yet, so he hasn't had to test himself.
How would you describe that, Pete?
That would be an elbow stinger, Ed.
An elbow stinger, there it is. Edwards tries to get it out. By the way, it's 10 disposals, St Kilda for 2 goals this quarter. Adelaide 10 disposals for 1 goal. It's a closely run thing at the moment.
Well, they're efficient.
Umpiring's been very good tonight so far. Good bounce from umpire Darren Goldspeak. McLeod gets it out. There's my man Goodwin tonight. He's been a beauty. Inside 50 he goes. Welsh has got away again. Can he get there? No, he can't. Big effort by Welsh. He tries to get it out the back. Thompson fights hard for it. He's had his pocket picked by the other number 5 on the ground, Aussie Jones.
Fiora been very good tonight too. 16 possessions now to Ackland. To Hayes. Back to Fiora on his natural left foot, goes down towards the pocket, and Voss took the half volley brilliantly. Can he get away? Not quite. Well done, Hart. Harassed him down there, forced the error. Now Tawney, got troubles of his own. Hart over the top, played it well once more. Hudson, his ruck work has been fine tonight. His kicking not so good. Rashudo gave it to Shirley, tried to go back to Rashudo. Hayes has got it now, attracts the crowd, lays it off. McWalter bypasses Hayes, comes to Milne. Now Jones against the boundary line, tries to go to Voss. He gathers the half volley once more. That's his specialty. Floats one across towards Gearig, who marked it in the hands.
Magnificent grab. Not much you can do about that, Rutten. It was just a good high kick to a real dangerous spot. And Fraser Gehrig being the strongest. Have a look at it, just strong through the legs. Wasn't able to move him whatsoever, and that's why he plays forward, because he's very hard to move off the ball.
Like using the salad tongs there, just out they came. Fraser, who started so well tonight, gets his second.
Voss to Gehrig, who gets his second of the night, and we've had the 4th change in the lead in this opening 9 minutes of the third quarter. Ball tries to knock it out. It's picked up by Hudson. No, he got it to Matner. Out to the Birdman. Burton goes wide and out to Goodwin, who marks on centre wing. Goodwin, another inside 50. It's a good-looking kick. Thompson did well that he got one high. No, said the umpire.
Go for the ball,
Saints have got the numbers. Fisher picks it up despite this elbow stinger.
Pressure, Thompson.
Gets it away, but Thompson has been very hard at it, Denny.
Great second effort there. Contested the ball, got up on his feet, and had a real crack for the second effort. Great effort.
Isn't he a good negative player, Scotty Thompson? I mean, he's good when he's got the ball, but watch the just relentless pressure. We've already seen lay 2 brilliant tackles tonight, and that third one then.
Yeah, he would have felt that as well, Fisher. McLeod bombs it high, up towards full forward. McGregor's the flyer. Was he pushed? No, umpire said play on. Powell grabbed it, was taken to the ground. Goddard.
No chance.
You heard the umpire there. And
that's got to be a free to Powell.
Yep, and it
must
is.
Be a free to him.
Thompson was sucked in. Powell
wouldn't let him go.
Drew the free kick and gets a 50 to go with it.
He wouldn't let him go.
And wouldn't let it go. And a 50 metres for yapping against Thompson, which would not enthuse Neil Craig at all, because they had a ball up right in their goal square, and now it's inside 50 for St Kilda.
Powell's kick. Marked by Bassett. Lays it off to Rashudo. Drives it long towards the wing. Welsh has been at 3 goals.
Getting on post at the moment.
Edwards offers. Big gap behind him. He goes to that gap now. Skipworth coming across the ground. Takes the clever mark. Thought about going with hands back towards the middle and Edwards, and that's a pretty good point the crowd are raising. I think they thought that it could well have been 50, or perhaps they thought he'd played on. I forgot where I was for a moment. I think it was closer to the first. Skipworth. Penny trying to hypnotise McGregor down there in the goal square. But Skipworth, who bogged up with some very good goals against the Kangaroos, heads for home. They'll compete about a metre out, no contest really. Getting back, thumped across the line by Ackland. Behind, scores a level.
You persist on having him back.
First rush behind for the night. 8-4 apiece. 12 minutes and 11 seconds left in this third term. Well, here we go. What a game. We've got another close one on Friday Night Football. Aussie Jones from fullback for the Saints. Derm, how do you see the zone set up by the Crows?
Well, they've got a 14-man zone set up, which is a pretty standard one. So, I mean, that's why St Kilda have had to go short and wide.
And forced to kick up the line now to a contest. Penny got front spot. Coming across was Voss. Couldn't quite hold it in the end. Ball crashed through the pack. Back to Voss. Had a second grab at it. Now he's in a bit of trouble.
No pride, never drag that in.
The umpire will have a bounce 55 metres out as Luke Jericho comes on for the Adelaide Crows. Rashudo inside 56 times. What a great player he's been, including a 55-metre goal. Powell got the handball, that ball with quick hands to McQualter. McQualter now up the corridor, is looking for Revolt. Revolt was caught underneath it. Buck did well. He's got support from Bassett. They have the numbers out to McLeod. McLeod looks out wide and hits Rashudo. The old firm for the Crows coming together. The Roos got it on centre wing. Looks up, not much on. Perry leads one way, ducks back. Now Edwards is the man. Umpire's about to call play on. Now he goes. And the kick goes to Goodwin.
Goodwin inside the centre square. Interesting, a lot of support for the Crows here. That chant of Rue that went up, and he got the football, and here's Welsh. And he bounced as he hit the deck there. Hudson brought him down hard.
Just be careful, Maxie. I know you're going for the ball, but I did. Here, mate. Here.
Well, we picked that up before. Maxie's just...
Be careful, that's all. I didn't say you'd done anything wrong.
We hear Darren Goldsworth there.
Scotty Marks here.
But Maxie's just trailing in Scotty Welsh at the moment. I'm not sure whether they can change his matchup, but he's just far too quick for Max.
Distance shouldn't be a problem here. Scores locked together, third term. Friday Night Football, 52 points apiece. Complex game, you've got to say. Welsh, 48 metres out, sets it on its journey. It is gun barrel straight. He's got 4.
Importance of a marking forward. All 5 goals this term have come from marks and set shots. 3 to the Saints and 2 to Welsh for Adelaide, and Adelaide back in front. And we've had the 5th change of lead this quarter in 14 and 3/4 minutes. It's had everything, including a man with 1 boot.
Well, they've made that change. They put Sam Fisher onto Maxie Hudson in the goal square now. Sorry, Sam Fisher onto Scotty Welsh.
Yep, so Welsh has kicked 2. He was just getting off Hudson as Denny Frawley made the point in the last 5 minutes or so. Comes out to Aussie Jones. Concedes some ground to Ball under pressure. The kick was turned over. Good pressure from Burton. Hart took the mark. He got off to Rashudo. Rashudo kicks with the outside of the boot. He put it out in front and hoped for the bet. Hoped for a bit of magic from McLeod, and he got it. Did he get some magic? Over to Edwards. Edwards inside 50. Welsh has got away again. Andrew McLeod has conjured something from nothing, and Welsh will line up for his 3rd for the quarter, and he's fit for the game.
Well, they just get around Andy McLeod. That was just absolutely magnificent. Have a look at the balance here. Just there. Steals the ball off Brendan Goddard and just has the awareness to say, right, have a look up, have some poise, give it to Edwards, and just a magnificent kick. Not much anything any defender in the competition can do there.
4 marks to Welsh this quarter. This for goal number 5, and he's 3rd for the term. Too much of a build-up. And offline to the left-hand side, his first behind for the night. And the Crows now lead by 7 points with 8 3/4 minutes left on the clock.
9-5, 8-4. Aussie Jones to bring it in. The game very much in the balance, as are the seasons of these 2 clubs. 4 and 4 both of them. 1 exceeding expectations, 1 short of expectations. Jones, Walsh gets another chance. was a gutsy mark coming back with a flight of it. Made to earn it.
Well, you picked up on it, Ed. Their zone's been very good, Adelaide. They've had a 14-man press, and you're spot on. They've struggled to get the ball out all night.
It'll take his best effort from here. Sharp angle, right on the 50. A lot riding on this kick. 7 points to margin. This for 13. I tell you what. Crows by 13. He's got 5.
The last 4 goals of the game for the Adelaide Crows. At the 21-minute mark of the second quarter, he kicked their 7th in a row. 2 goals to the Saints. Then Welsh bobbed up, a goal to Garrick. Saints were back in front by a point. He's kicked the last 2, and now they lead by 13 points. Goodwin out of the centre. Well, it was beautifully done by Ball. He got a bit of purchase on the kick as well. Inside 50. Burton leads the race for the ball. Gets a good bounce. On the left foot, he kicks it out in front of McLeod. Well, has he been a player tonight? McLeod takes on Hayes. Dragged down. Hayes got him. Well done, Lenny Hayes. Kept the tackle going and didn't take the legs either. That was great play by Lenny Hayes. At half-back flank, the Saints, can they mount a counter-attack? They haven't been inside 50 for 8 minutes in this quarter.
Even that marking contest there, it was a 3-on-1. You have to get it. St Kilda kicked the ball forward. Yet 3 Crows players were in the vicinity to 1 St Kilda player.
Goodwin and Burton combining there a couple of times. McLeod with Shudo. Back to McLeod with the outside of the boot. It wanders down towards the pocket. McGregor's in front, falling to the ground. A Perry. Sharp angle, goes to the square. Coming back as well. He can do no wrong. Well, he can. Hacked it out of midair, but missed.
Won't get a gig at the FA Cup tomorrow, Dennis.
But he was outnumbered 2-on-1. Quick thinking, and didn't miss by much. Meantime, the Saints rush it down the ground, but only as far as Hart. To McLeod, involved in pretty much everything in this term. To Shirley, to Skipworth. He's forward of the wing. All the time in the world. Welsh comes on a lead. It goes in that direction. Not required. Burton gave the contest. Welsh got the crumb. Hand passes into the path of Goodwin. He wanted it most. As simple as that. And he kicks a goal. His first.
Kicked the last 3 of the game to lead by 19 points. Welsh was in it again. He's had his best bag ever in Victoria. And Simon Goodwin hard at the ball, and then his non-preferred right foot, he puts it through the middle, and the Crows are away. They've kicked 4 of the last 5 goals, the last 3 in the game to lead by 19 points. Hayes out of the centre, just pushed off his kick. Can't get a direct kick inside 50. Burton has lifted. He kicks wide out to Edwards, who's been fantastic. They're running the Crows. They're backing themselves in. They bring the ball inside to Matner. Matner can get the handball away. It was off target. It wasn't a good one. It's been picked up now by Hayes. Under pressure from Dowdy. Now it's Matner. Has a second go. Decides to go long. Very long. It's a booming kick towards Welsh. Couldn't quite hold the mark. McGregor's there as well. Penny has to hold his composure. Does the U-turn. It's turned over. No. In comes Ozzie Jones, gets it out to Del Santo, who keeps his composure to Peckett fresh on the ground. Peckett a beautiful kick normally, no exception. Into Goddard, handballs away to it was a Ball. Ball got the kick away. Now the Saints are a chance as Ball kept coming. Milne was out wide, Ball went long. It's over the head of his teammate in Revolt. The mark has been taken by Bock, and that's the first inside 50 for the Saints in 12 minutes.
Nathan Bock has been terrific. This is Hart.
He's been great too.
So cool. I was just going to say, with his weight and gold back there, Biglands.
Having a rest, I think, Hart, is he?
An astronomer will name that divot on the outer side. The mark is taken by Bassett. He's on the wing. Adelaide looking irresistible at the moment. In stark contrast to the first term, they barely participated.
This third quarter too, Brett Burton on the wing has been able to run defensive side of the centre square, the back of it, and clean up a lot of St Kilda's mongrelled centre bounce clearances.
Rutten goes to Skipworth into the path of Burton. Blake's got a problem. Once he turned his back, he was done.
Smart kick.
Doesn't Skipworth get away?
Yeah.
Wow.
well, he's number 4 or 5 in line in the Adelaide midfield, so he's the one that they don't focus on as much. But as I said, Brett Burton, he was down the other end about, what, 15, 20 seconds ago, inside defensive 50 on the other side.
Good blind side running.
Yep.
And opened up his vision there, Skipworth. That's why he's one of the leading players in the competition for assists. I think he's first or second in the competition, Skipworth.
Yeah, I think Goddard is playing on Brett Burton at the moment, and Brett Burton's having a fantastic quarter.
By the way, Skipworth is number 1 for scoring assists in the AFL with 18 for the season. This will be 19 if he kicks it.
Brett Burton coming off 20 possessions last week, hasn't kicked a goal for 2 weeks. That's his 20th possession tonight. All those stats change. He's got a goal. They've got the last for the Crows.
Into the third term, 2 quick goals to the Saints, and you thought, all right, they're on their way. The last 4 goals of the match to Adelaide, 26 points with under 4 minutes to go, and the Saints are in disarray. Their supporters have gone quiet. Their players,
Thanks, Gibby.
more importantly, have gone quiet on the ground. Doesn't seem to be a lot of talk out there, boys. And there's some bad body language. I know they're into the body language at St Kilda, but there's some slumped shoulders at the moment. Can they lift? They need something. Matten has got it for the Crows, though. The kick up towards centre half forward. Oh, flying from behind was Hudson, off hands. It's Raphael Clark, a sweeping handball. Can they build from here? Out to Fiora, has to kick with his right foot. It was a good one. And Garrick presented and took the mark. Big Fraser has to go back and kick this.
Brett Burton's earned a rest there, Ed. He's run pretty hard. I wouldn't mind betting he's got a cramp or something there. 20-plus possessions for the evening. He just needs a rest there.
Look who comes on, mate, the shooter.
There's not much respite. You take Burton off, who's had the quarter of the season for him so far, and on comes Mark Rashudo.
Big Fraser's kick 2. They need a third one from him. Helicopters it in. It's off hands and through for a rush behind. Didn't quite get onto that one. Big Fraser Garrick. He's now kicked, 2 goals for the night, and that one rushed through for a point.
McLeod's gone to the back flank and picking up Graham now, and he's just standing 20 metres away from Graham and treating him with disrespect.
Skipworth gave it back to McLeod, who runs it up to half-back. Rutten lays it off. Edwards kicks beyond the wing. Coming across is Perry, takes the mark. No, fisted away by Hutchton. And across the line it goes as we go down to the dock.
Yeah, Adelaide being very conscientious about fluid intake. Brett Burton coming off for a rest. No cramp troubles to him. But Charlie Walsh, Olympic coach, his sole job tonight is just to get fluids into every player on their rotations, walks the bench and makes sure they get 2 cups of fluid in.
And Revolt coming off for St Kilda for Voss.
Well done, Nathan Bock. A moral victory, at least. McGough out of the congestion, moves at about 10 metres. Taken by Jericho, slips the handball away. McLeod again. High ball to half forward, going back with courage. Skipworth didn't know what was coming up to meet him, didn't care.
Well, that is just Grant Thomas is just saying he needs to hold for the last few minutes here, couple of minutes here, and give Revolt a really good rest at 3/4 time.
Thompson, he was a catalyst in their comeback last week. An emerging player forward at the wing, kicks inside the forward 50. McGregor beat 3. He beat 3 of them. And I'm not sure any of the 3 tried to spoil, and Clark is hurt. Copped the knee right on the hip. Do we see a fist in any of this?
Back of the rib cage.
Not really.
Back of the rib cage. Watch the left knee come up. Bang. That is the back of the rib cage.
I think that's a contested mark.
Gee, when you're hot, you're hot.
Yes.
You couldn't blame the St Kilda boys. They had a dead-set crack at the ball, but McGregor just vice-like grip, 2 bites of the cherry, but that was a fantastic mark.
Well, Fisher virtually pushed him into it.
I don't miss that moment where Raphael is at the moment.
He'll be eating his dinner off the mantelpiece for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Raph, when you get home tonight, don't sneeze. It's going to hurt. That's the worst thing you can do when you've got broken ribs is sneeze.
Or laugh.
Margin is 25 points. McGregor kicking at his 2nd goal. The margin could be out over 30. He's kicked it. And the Saints in desperate trouble.
The effects of Ken McGregor, and the scoreboard showing the effects of Ken McGregor. They're out to a 31-point lead now. Dermot, how good a player do you need to be able to kick goals with broken ribs?
Well, I don't think Raph Clark had any say in that. He's off the ground with it.
I led in, mate. How many did you kick against Richmond with a chest full of broken ribs?
A couple, mate.
11, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You are fantastic.
I heard it was 13.
Yeah, it's growing. Could be 14 by the end of this game.
Anyway, the Saints will need to kick nearly that many to get back in it the way they're going. With 1 minute left on the clock, Ozzie Jones has got it on centre wing. As you can see, that was a wobble kick up forward and it's going to come straight back. Bassett charging through, full-chested, bombs it inside 50. He cleared the loose man. Hudson gets a lucky bounce. Welsh got it down. Here's a chance for Skipworth. He's number one for assists. He wants one of his own, but he can't squeeze it through. Off break. Through for a point, 41 seconds, 40 seconds on the clock, and Adelaide have absolutely pantsed St Kilda in this term. They've kicked the last 5 goals of the quarter to lead by 32 points.
A very confident team now. If Nathan Bassett tucks the ball under the arm and sprints away from a pack, they have got their tails completely up.
There's Fiora, got it from Fisher, comes back to the middle. Baker, the Saints in disarray. Started the term well enough, but have simply fallen off the pace. Kick inside the forward 50. Geary didn't have the football. Well, the umpire said he was close enough. Edwards run down in the act of kicking. Comes to Jones. Jones on the 50. Spots a man. Meters in the clear Blake. And Blake is marked directly in front. 25 meters out. His team down by, what is it now, 33 points. 32 points.
I called play on then, Spud, because he could have gone to about 15 metres. He would have had to been immediate. But, gee, this is a pressure kick, and I'm not so sure he's the best set shot.
1 goal for the season.
He missed one earlier on the night.
Bit of the Adrian Fletcher's about it. And he comes. Stabs at Goldwood. And I think he's missed.
Play on.
We've said it's Australian for oops, and it is. 3/4 time.
Ouch.
And Adelaide 13-7 continue to march towards their 5th victory of the season. St Kilda in trouble, 8-6. 13-7 plays 8-6. That's a margin of 31 points at the last break.
Well, truth is stranger than fiction sometimes, and the Saints were away through Fraser Garrick. All the big guns were firing. Nick Revolt from outside 50. How easy is this game, said the Saints. Then Milne on the line, Revolt the assist. It was party time for St Kilda, and Neil Craig told his charges at quarter time it wasn't good enough because it was 5 goals to 1. Well, did they respond? Mark Rasciuto, the captain, from inside the square to get them going. Then Tyson Edwards showed he wanted the ball more than anybody out there and kicked the goal. And when Scotty Thompson kicked another one, miraculously, Adelaide had kicked 7 unanswered goals to lead by 11 points at half-time. Out they came, 2 goals to St Kilda, but this man was suddenly unstoppable. Scott Welsh had 7 disposals for the quarter, 5 marks, and 3 goals 2 for the term, and 5 goals 2 for the game. And the Adelaide Crows led by 31 points when this man, Simon Goodwin, just wanted it. Like Edwards, more than the Saints, on his non-preferred boot, he put it through. He is having a mighty game. Good luck to Dermot Brereton with the votes tonight for the Lou Richards medal, because the Crows have absolutely been on fire since quarter time. Have a look at this. Since quarter time, St Kilda have kicked 3 goals 4, while the Adelaide Crows have kicked 12 goals 5. Danny Frawley, you're watching your old team run into a brick wall tonight called Adelaide.
Yeah, well, Adelaide have been far too good for the last 2 quarters, and St Kilda just need to get their hands on the ball. Scotty Welsh, have a look at this. Ken McGregor's a long target. You just see Scotty Welsh use McGregor as a screen, and which means Max Hudson is left floundering, and you'll see Maxie Hudson turn around in disgust, but Ken McGregor's been very good down there. He's the long, strong option, and Welsh just getting on his bike, hitting up. He's been the difference in the game so far.
Start of the final term, Crows led it by 31 points. Hudson has been terrific in this situation most of the night. We watch him again with interest. That time Ackland knocked it down, spills wide of the pack. Fiora taken down, back to Ackland. This is Hayes, goes towards half forward. Revolts in front, leaping over the top is Tawney. That's confidence. The ground, running. Got it to Rasciuto, goes to half forward. Perry worked out of the contest. Hudson had it knocked away by the man behind. Baker comes through, gets a hand pass to Hudson, to Ackland. Now it's Jones with some time. Comes wide to Goddard, thought of half back. Goddard, indecisive, eventually goes towards half forward. 3 men against Revolt. They were waiting too, as the ball goes out of bounds. Down to the dock.
Yeah, 3/4 time, Matty McLeod had a lot of tension to his left eye. They were putting drops and trying to clear it up. Matty got a poke in the eye just before 3/4 time. And Raphael Clark just sitting out on the bench, a bit sore in the ribs, but he doesn't look too bad.
Throw in it. Half forward flank. Ackland got the tap and got one high. McQualter with the kick. Off the side of the boot, it might come off for him though. No, Fiora couldn't quite hold it. Coming through was hard. Squeezed the kick into the centre of the ground. They're all waiting for it to see what happens. In the back, yes it was, said the umpire. So it's a Kilda free kick going against Skipworth, and it'll go to Voss. Just ridden into the ground. Voss goes wide, right out there to Powell, who takes off slowly. Inside 50 with the kick. Milnes, the flyer, up against two, couldn't hold it, didn't get near it in fact. There's Bassett with a sweeping handball to Hart. They're looking like winners at the moment, the Adelaide Crows, as it comes out to Rutten. Rutten's kick up to the wing position. Waiting there was Dowdy, I think it was. It comes out to Matner, intercepted by Jones. Skipworth, it was in fact, who got the handball away. Jones to Fiora. Around the body he goes. Good kick, Del Santo. Del Santo's kick was smothered though. Powell, crunch. Did he get one high? No, said the umpire. And the ball goes to the line through Goodwin. We'll have a throw in 55 out from the St Kilda goal.
It's interesting what Adelaide did to St Kilda in that third quarter. They took Hodgson Penny to the goal square, which left a half-back line for St Kilda of Fisher, Raff Clark and McWalter. Very inexperienced, and they just exploited that when they led up the ground.
Boundary throw in right on the 50. Goodwin looking towards the umpire as he was tackled there. The boundary line hasn't been the refuge it normally is tonight. A couple of decisions played on or over for holding the ball. Here's Burton getting back. He's hard against the line. Hooks it very high. Coming to meet it is Ball. Coming back is Goodwin. Interesting one for the boundary umpire out on the full, he says. So Ball will get the kick. Plays on immediately. Kicks inside the forward 50. In from the side, Hudson. Over the top, Bock. Hudson hand passes back. I think it's got also behind.
Thanks, Fraze. Just wait. Inaccuracy is not an excuse if you're trying to rush a behind.
Yeah, but there goes the kick. He hits the post.
Yep, that's the ruling, don't you?
I know, but it almost defies logic, does it not? If it's deliberately out of bounds and you're trying to force it behind.
But you're trying to deliberately stop play by giving a point, so you still have the same motive. You just haven't actually conceded anything.
I love these philosophical debates with you. Come on, please.
Hart goes up the line. Rashudo stands the bump. Won't be worried too much by Milne. Over the line it goes. Well, the Saints have got 17.5 minutes to show whether they're premiership contenders or pretenders here tonight. Danny, this is a huge game. 4-4 for the Saints. Any chance of a top 4 position could be slipping out of their grip tonight.
Look, their draw is quite favourable, but they would have penciled this one in at the start of the year for sure as a win.
Favourable if you're winning them, aren't they?
Yeah, spot on.
Inside 50 it goes, and Rutten's had a pretty good night tonight. He has, yeah. Gets the handball away to Bock, who's been excellent tonight. The kick up towards the wing position, a one-on-one contest, and Perry was in front of Hodgson. Brings the ball inside. It stays in here a long time.
Oh, great courage.
Didn't matter. It was Rashudo. You knew that was going to happen. You always knew he wasn't going to take his eye off the ball. Bassett now through the middle to Tawney. Tawney thumps it long with a big kick. One-on-one. McGregor's got the set and the mark.
Don't discount Scotty Welsh.
Since quarter time, his lead-up play, he's taken away the second man who was killing the ball in the contest going long in the first quarter. And this, I mean, that's Rashudo there. That's, as you call, courage. What's Scotty Welsh? Running straight at the ball carrier. That gives a one-on-one every time for the likes of McGregor.
It creates the isolation, doesn't it?
Yep.
Now, there you go. They've been honouring the leads, but on that occasion, Tawney went long and strong. And this man, McGregor, who's kicked 2 goals, 1 tonight, started the game with no score for the season. This to wrap it up. Just misses.
Your key words there, Ed, they've been honouring the leads.
Yeah.
If you do that, you force your backman to come out and follow you, which makes a one-on-one further down the line behind you.
They've lowered their eyes to do that.
Yep. You can go long every time, but sooner or later, teams like the Brisbane Lions, they love it. They get there with numbers and they kill it. That's a style of footy. You've got to mix it up.
Jones inside the defensive 50, off hands. Well read there by Powell. Goes towards half-forward. Rebolt dropped another mark. Most uncharacteristic night. Feeds it off to Hayes. Hayes inside the 50. Fiora. Hold it. It's ended okay. And he will line up a goal from about 40 metres out. He's had a busy night tonight.
It's a confidence thing with Nick Rewell. There's no doubt. Look, he'll be right in a couple of weeks, but...
Will fatigue come into that drop one as well?
No doubt. The player they're missing is Hamill. You look at St Kilda's forward line, you think Aaron Hamill allows Rewalt a little bit of a break. He's had no respite all night, Nick Rewalt.
Basically been on the end of every hit up lead, hasn't he?
He worked hard.
Fiora's kicked a goal, coming up for his 23rd possession, coming off a season's low of 6 last week. His previous best this year was 20 against his old team. And this one has just fallen away when they desperately need a goal.
1-2 to Aaron Fiora tonight.
Struck that well. It's faded on him.
5 goals the difference.
How good's Ben Hart been? And when you talk about the St Kilda half-back line in the third quarter, inexperience, what about the experience of this fellow in the second half? 15 plus now, 19 possessions, sorry. I'll get it right eventually.
Shirley in front of 35,100 people here tonight at the Telstra Dome as it stays in the air a long time. It was magnificent. That is a contested mark. Look at this. Knew Goddard was coming, took the hit, but took the mark most importantly.
Dennis loves Bassett.
Yep, Hart got it away to Rutten. Rutten runs now. The kick was up. Perry got into the contest from nowhere, got the handball away to Skipworth. Skipworth handballs over to his skipper, Rashudo. To the goal square is offline McGregor. Kept it in play. It's still alive. Picked up by Burton. The mercurial Burton, what can he do? He kicks to the square. No, just in front. Picked up there by Hayes. Edwards is in there. He holds it up, and that's a good result for the Crows. Ball up 55 metres out from goal.
Perry's come into it in this third quarter as well. Fourth quarter.
Get back to a point I made earlier too, Dim. Plenty of support for the Crows here tonight.
Isn't there?
Absolutely. There's a bounce 40 metres out. Skipworth and Jones in the foreground doing a bit. Over the top comes Penny, and the pair I was talking of have been spotted.
You've got your back to the ball, Aussie. You cannot do that.
There's movement at the station in this regard.
Now, what a huge tick for Neil Craig. At quarter time, he had a good chat to his boys. They've changed their style of play, so huge tick for Neil Craig.
The umpires have picked up from last week, though, Dennis, no doubt about it. And a good thing, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a free kick, no question. So Skipworth's got the footy.
No, it's football. It's not British Bulldogs. You've got to have the ball before you tackle them.
Currently at 30 points, the margin.
I said that. I didn't mind British Bulldogs.
Good game.
Yeah.
Would have been your game at school, I reckon. There goes Skipworth. What's he done? He's just missed. So we're back to 31 as it was at three-quarter time. Oops.
Sam, did you like to be the tackler in the middle when they were all running? You know, the first boy in, or were you the last boy to take on the score?
He used to make sure if you weren't the first one in, you were very quickly out.
And you poison ball.
Oh, you just hold that 1, 2, 3 for a long time.
That's when you were ducking philosophy class.
Exactly. Yeah. Del Santo to Baker. Baker's got it. And going backwards to Del Santo, just trying to open it up. The defensive play by the Crows, we derided it a couple of weeks ago against Melbourne when they were overrunning the last quarter, but tonight it's held sway because they've been able to have some tall marking options, boys, up forward.
Yep. Well, they've got
changed the difference, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Ken McGregor's been a great move. Putting him forward.
Drawn on the bench, as you can see, along with McGough, Clark and Graham.
But McGregor's only kicked 2 goals, but the fact that he's had 4 shots at goal has been a big bonus for them because Scotty Welsh, they've got the 2-pronged attack, a leading forward from the goal square and a marking forward in the goal square.
Saints kicked the first 5 goals, or kicked 5 goals in 20 minutes in the first quarter. They've kicked 3 since.
Yep, you're spot on, and it means their best defender in Luke Penny has to play on him, though, which means that, you know, Sam Fish and these younger types, as you talked about, had to play on the more experienced Adelaide half-forward line.
Yep. Boundary throw in on the outer side. 87 plays 56, and Kilda barely hanging on. Hudson locks up there with Blake. Blake won it down. Del Santo's kick smothered. Comes to Fiora now. Claimed by Thompson. His hand pass coughed up. Tawney get across to Matner in the grasp to Shirley. Shirley kicks inside the forward 50. Hutchton. Valiant attempt to mark, but now they're overcommitted. The hand pass comes from Berry, and he's hit the post, McGregor. Kicking at his third and maybe wrapping up the 4 points. He's kicked 3-3, or rather 2-3.
Scotty Thompson, the tackle on Aaron Fiora too, the one that made him turn the ball over. He is a super tackler.
Aussie winds up and gives it a big boot out 55 metres. The Crows front and square again. Ball released the tackle, was good play. Baker kept his feet and crashed through. Now what's on? Not much, only revolt, but the kick is about 50 metres away from him. And getting back to take the mark is Hart, who's been fantastic. Doom, good luck with the vote, you and Danny tonight. Here's McLeod through the middle of the Telstra Dome. Looks up, not much on, so decides to go short out, wider still. Matten has been good tonight as well. On the left boot, he brings it back in. No one home, though. Welsh was heading that way, but Baker with courage took the mark. Over to Del Santo, and nothing on offer for the Saints.
The force them wide, haven't they? The Adelaide forwards, their pressure's been tremendous.
They're back and forth from going nowhere at the moment, the Saints.
He's got nothing ahead here.
Fisher marks on defensive 50, and they're just trapped in the end zone.
He's gone for the bomb. The high up and under, up towards the wing. Perry dropped it.
Gary Owen.
Coming through Goddard, gets a hand pass away.
Hail Mary.
Out of space. Little chip down towards half-forward eventually. It was just touched in front of Fiora. Enough to put him off. Tawney gave it to Hudson. This is Rashudo to Edwards. A runner alongside Shirley again. Runs beyond the wing. Searching kick inside the forward 50. Well, a couple of Crows converged on that one. Third man gets the cheese. He hooks it across his body, but straight to Fisher. Fisher got the Skipworth kick, and now he's put it to Del Santo. Del Santo running towards the wing. Here comes Geary. A little slow to come initially. As a result, you saw the man with the ball had to hesitate. But it was a good kick and a good grab.
Sorry, Dennis. Geary has to come right out from full forward where he's dangerous, so...
It's just too hard for Revolt to cover both these. We saw him on the lead up this side of the ground. This, where the ball is now, that's Aaron Hamill's lead out that side.
Geary sends it up. Up very high, Fiora. Didn't complete the mark. Rashudo has seen a lot of the football. Creeps away from the back pocket, then stops, then kicks towards the boundary and finds it on the second bounce.
And that there, Frankie Peckett standing out on the wing, people would say, why don't you just kick it, Rashudo? What he would have seen was Frankie Peckett out there in space 50 metres, and if he doesn't hit touch, it's going to come back with interest. So he has to hold it up.
Smart kick.
Good little takeaway there as well. Rashudo's averaged 24 disposals, 5 marks and a goal in his past 13 matches against St Kilda. He's polled Brownlow votes in 5 of those games, and tonight he's had 26. So there you go. He likes playing the Saints.
Did you expect anything less?
Well, you know, he likes playing anyone, Mark Rashudo, doesn't he? Let's be honest. What a superstar he has been. Matten has been good tonight. That was Thompson who slapped it out. Ball hasn't had the dominant performance that we've seen in recent times. Del Santo chips it forward. Voss takes the mark on centre wing. Inside with the handball he goes to Blake, who missed 2 puts during the game. Give the Saints a chance. Well, that sort of sums it up for Nick Revolt tonight. He got there, but it was nothing for him when he did. Out come the Crows again. McLeod looks up, lopes forward, takes his time, wants to see what's on offer. Not much, so dances, gets around Ball. Oh, does it beautifully. Look at that, a bit of showbiz from Andrew McLeod. The long kick up towards the square. Out came McGregor, nearly beat 3 in the marking contest again. He did it earlier. Here's a chance for Rashudo, a bit of icing on the cake. He gets it back to Goodwin. This time on his favoured left boot, but it wobbles forward. McGregor almost again, but it's through for a point.
Great discipline from Rashudo, wasn't it? Hands from ground level out the back to Goodwin.
What about these Saints? I mean, you think back to last season, they won their first 10. If they lose tonight, they will have won just 11 of their last 24, which really does raise a few question marks. There's Jones.
They just need that key backman to be there. Maguire going out really hurts their balance.
Hodgson, wayward kick. Mattner again, more desperate. Gets a hand pass away. Shirley, McLeod, 52 metres out, gives it a ride. A long ride. That's the ball game, folks.
This weekend, Bunnings Warehouse are having a huge stock clearance. Out it all goes. So get in quick. 8-metre tape measure, $2. 2-litre seaweed fertiliser, $5. 1,000-watt motion sensor, $9. Compound miter saw, $49. Plastic toolbox organiser, $3. Garden kneeler and seat, $9. Cordless drill and torch kit, $49. Spanners, 50 cents each.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Don't forget, next Friday night, AFL on 9. This is going to be a beauty. Melbourne and Richmond from the Telstra Dome. It's going to be an absolute belter. 2 teams really fighting hard now and could be top 4, the both of them, the way they're going. Certainly whoever wins that one will be a real chance. Out of the centre again, Bassett goes with the toe poke. Spills out to that man, Rashudo. What a night he's had to McLeod.
Great vision.
He of the dancing feet out wide to Goodwin. The old firm Goodwin will come in from 55 to the square. McGregor's turned his back on it, nearly got there. And it rolls through for a rush behind to the Crows. They're going to win tonight, the Adelaide Crows. There's only been one goal kicked in the final term as the Saints decide to head for Moorabbin. And next week, St Kilda, well, they play Sydney, which will be no easy game for them. And the Adelaide Crows take on Carlton at Amy Stadium. So, Crows will be 5-4. And St Kilda will be 4-5 after tonight.
Burton, not a good kick. Voss goes back and takes the mark. And the Saints, so dominant early, it looked like a walk in the park. It's been anything but. Full credit to Neil Craig. He's the resident genius tonight. It lasts for a week in footy, but we dub him the genius. That was a terrific comeback that he orchestrated. Got down in the face of his players at quarter time. Here's Hayes, got it from Goddard. Kicking towards half forward, my man Bassett. I can tell you, Derm, that his favourite song is All Along the Watchtower by Bob Dylan. Now that is a Defenders song.
If you had it said by Jimmy, his version, Hendrix.
No. The thinking man's.
You too?
Singing poet. There's Hart.
I think they did cover it as well.
Going back, yes.
Yeah.
The mark is taken down there by Voss once more, and they'll reload and try and work something out of here. Goddard, the short one, on the bounce to Hayes. Hayes runs away from half-back, looks to half-forward. In front is Gearick, a long way from goal. Rutten having a pretty good season. McLeod having a pretty good match. Back to Rutten. Rutten goes in short. Riley spilt the mark. Recovers well. Flicks it across to Shirley on one knee. Tries to go to Edwards. He couldn't control it. Crawling after it, Skipworth. In goes ball. Well played. McWalter in trouble. Just gave it up. Coming through is Matner. Matner slips it away to McLeod and turn to Hart. He's a good finisher, Hart. Doesn't do it too often, but knows what's required. He's kicked his first. It's embarrassing.
Two of the best players ever to come out of Adelaide have a rest on the pine with their side 46 points in front. Adelaide have kicked the last 7 goals of the game since the 13-minute and 50-second mark. By the way, Hart's goal, his first since round 11, 2002. So he celebrates.
So you think about it, 5 minutes before the quarter time, from that space there to right now, the Saints have kicked 3 goals.
Yeah.
Well, they kicked the first 5, Dermot, then Adelaide the next 7, then St Kilda kicked 2, Adelaide 1, St Kilda 1, and now the next 7 in a row for the Adelaide Crows to lead by 46 points. This has just been a game. Grant Thomas won't know where to start or finish on this one. McLeod, well, he can do whatever he likes out there. He can miss the tackle, he still does it. And a handball over his head found a teammate. He held it too long in the end.
That was the equivalent of being in a horse race, and they say you'd have to fall off it to lose. Well, he got back up on it then and still got it.
Ball's got it. 6:23. Ball kicks a helicopter in, even one of their best in his 50th game. Can't do much with it tonight.
You talked about
the mark.
Sorry, you talked about Grant Thomas. They're missing Robert Harvey, Kaczynski, Xavier Clark, Matt Maguire and Aaron Hamill with soft tissues. What happens as a coach, I can tell you, I've been down that road, you tend to lighten off on training when you get a lot of soft tissues. So that'll be the big worrying sign for Grant Thomas at the moment, not being able to replace his good players.
Well, the big trick, as you said there, get those players back and St Kilda look a lot better, but will they get them back in time to have a meaningful assault at any premiership chance?
Well, they had a 5-0 start. Can't ask for much more than that as Goddard kicks it down towards half-forward. Milne is called by Dermot, proceeds to kick it straight out of bounds. Let's go down to Tony Jones.
Well, Dennis, you've made the observation a couple of times tonight about the large Adelaide contingent. I can tell you when Ben Hart and Mark Rasuto paraded along the boundary line there in their resting period, they were given a hero's reception. And mind you, with the mass exodus, I think the Adelaide Crow supporters are outnumbering St Kilda at the moment.
Bassett. Edwards. Tawney is on. He'll try and give it to him now, and does. That was a clever kick. Tawney's got the football, the defensive side of the wing. All the run coming from Adelaide. Matner wasn't the best hand pass, but he goes back to Tawney. 3 Saints tracking him around that outer side. Tawney decides to stop. Just taunts them a little bit and kicks inside the forward 50. How will it bounce? Well, very high. Hayes comes at it. Taken by Penny. Penny around the boundary line with the kick. In front, Voss. 2 good aerialists for their size there. Tawney and Voss. It comes across to Graham. Graham kicks a high ball. In front, Revolt should have got a free kick. He's being held. He was pushed in the back and then held, but by his standards, it hasn't been a good night. In fact, it's been one of the worst in his young career. And a word from the umpire as well. So Revolt can't take a trick just for the moment.
Not the umpire's pin-up.
No, I was going to say, then again, he did have a bit to say about the umps a couple of weeks ago. Del Santo goes short. Graham's got it. They do have memories like elephants.
You'd have to call him Lou, this bloke, wouldn't you? Lou's even a foreigner.
3 pachyderms out there in yellow. There goes the long kick down towards full forward. Off hands across the line for a behind. So we're down under 4.5 minutes. A remarkable game. Adelaide blitzed in the opening term, now blitzing the Saints.
Oh, damn, was he urgent for a goal?
Yes. Just thinking about that now. Lou Graham.
He's got the white hair as well, the blonde hair. St Kilda last 2 weeks, they've kicked 15-18.
Here comes Tawny.
To 28-22, so he goes 82 points down in the last 2 weeks of football.
Oh, amazing.
There's Thompson.
He's played a good, that's only his 8th possession, but he's played as good an 8-possession game as you'd ever see.
Had a bit of penetration with the kicker in the body.
Couldn't see some of mine, Joe.
Got it away.
You had great 2-possession games then, didn't you?
Del Santo.
You did see them.
But they were effective.
Yes.
Oh, they'd spoils one day.
Revolt over the top. McQuarter inside to McGough. Bounced off his noggin, and he's in a lot of trouble. Gone. There he is, the Roo, back on for an encore performance. And a couple of extra stats. How many for the Roo? 29 disposals, that one, as Riley takes the mark. He'll get another one here to make it 30. There he is. He might get his number by the end of the night. The kick, look at that. 50 metres straight to Perry, who marks on 50.
There's been Maxie Hutchins, I would say, his biggest beating in a one-on-one this year, because he's a very good player, Max, but he's been comprehensively beaten tonight.
Now, Perry hasn't kicked a score tonight. He's kicked 12 goals, 11 for the year. We know that this is the one area of his play, but you would just about bet with 2:48 on the clock that he'll go back and
he's kicked
good go at this.
He's kicked till coming into tonight. He kicked 12 goals, 11 for the season.
He's created a lot of space for his teammates too, hasn't he?
Fantastic the way he's led up from half forward.
So Perry comes in as the stand's empty here at the Dome.
He looked like Max Walker then.
Just got off. He looked like a trotter that broke, didn't he? Yeah. And it's through for a rush behind.
Grant Thomas wouldn't be too happy with the half-back zoning off.
No.
Bit of body on body, too much of a leg rope. Let's tighten up next week and really force a contest.
46 points the margin, Del Santo. So Adelaide 15 at the last 18 goals in this game. Helpless, looking on, men who would like to help. Del Santo, meantime, decides to run away from half-back. Kicks it up towards the wing, but Biglands will mark uncontested. What a game it's been. 5-2 to 1-2 at quarter time, and the goal for Adelaide came very late in the term, and now McGregor takes a tumbling mark. Adelaide failed to participate in the first quarter. As a result, at quarter time, St Kilda, I guess you've got to say, were fat, content and arrogant. You know what they say, never moon a werewolf. That is the moral of tonight's game.
What's that one, Dennis?
Greek mythology, Benny. Here's the kick from McGregor. 60 metres out towards full forward. Riley couldn't complete the mark. Ball. Ackland.
That came from that philosopher too, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Jones, high ball outside the defensive 50. McGregor knocks it back inside. Edwards taken down. Did he drop it? Yes, holding the ball is the call.
I didn't study that Greek mythology at Bungaree Primary School.
Derm and I did. Don't worry about that. Didn't we, Derm?
Came in at
Speak the same language.
We got it.
Maxie Hutchton kicks it out wide. Dennis will bring in a second book soon. In fact, mid-year, I reckon. I'm tipping he'll have enough. As Bassett goes over the top, Lenny Hayes. He's had one of those nights, Lenny Hayes. He's had plenty of it and done his best, but it just hasn't been able to really penetrate. Just like that kick going on the other end. McLeod dances out from half-back again. The kick was a beauty. Rashudo now up to 31. Hayes has had 30 touches. I mean, he's knocked up getting possessions. Inside it goes. Edwards from McLeod out wide. They're lining up. Perry this time. No, he still wants to kick one from outside 50. There must be something there. Must be in his contract. Last week, Adelaide had 366 disposals against Brisbane. They're at 365, and here it comes. 366. They're consistent.
There's Neil Craig. He'd be a happy boy.
He is. There's nothing better in life, is there, Danny, than walking out of the coach's box after one of these.
Especially on a Friday night, Ed.
Last chance for a score here with 3 seconds. That'll be it for the game as Ball finishes with it. But the Adelaide Crows take the 4 points and a winning win-loss ratio after 9 rounds of footy, and tonight it's one that they wouldn't have had. Who's pointing the finger there? Well, the Saints are pointing the finger. There'll be plenty of finger pointing down at Moorabbin during the week. And the Crows, well, not even Neil Curley would have been on them at the 20-minute mark of the first term when they trailed by 30 points. They kicked the next 7 goals of the game. St Kilda, in a rush between the 2-minute mark and the 8.5-minute mark of the third quarter, kicked 3-1. Welsh was the 1 goal kicker for Adelaide, and after that, they kicked another 7, and that was the game.
They needed a bit of hope just on three-quarter time with Jason Blake kicking a goal from 20 metres out, as good as directly in front, and he kicked the helicopter.
Riley got the first of the game for the Crows at the 27-minute mark of the first term, and they trailed by 24 points at quarter time. They led miraculously by 11, then 31 at three-quarter time, and the final scores here, 15-13, 103, a 46-point drubbing of St Kilda, 8-9, 57. Let's go down to Tony Jones with one of the men of the match, if not the man of the match, Mark Rasciuto.
Yes, no, I won't describe exactly how Mark summed up the first quarter, but not a bad win, seeing he gave him a 30-minute head start.
Yeah, we were pretty ordinary in the first, but we've been a bit hot and cold all year. We've been struggling to get the balance between defensive pressure and offensive pressure, and when we get it right, we're really good, but as we were in the first quarter, we're pretty ordinary.
Well, what was the turnaround? What sparked it?
Oh, getting at the ball. I think we were about 10 down in hard ball gets in the first quarter, and then we got on top for the rest of the game after that. So he gets back to getting at the footy and winning it first before he can kick goals, and that's what we did.
Well, as the players head over, and you've quite a healthy supporter base here tonight, that's for sure. But 5-4 now. Beyond expectations pre-season?
Not for us. We always thought we were a chance. I know a lot of Melbourne people wrote us off at the start of the year, but we've had pretty much all the team fit, and we're heading in the right direction, and we're looking for the finals later on.
Well, one final one. This is the start of the community round of football, and I noticed in the footy record tonight, your fondest memory of your junior footy days is going to the footy with 8 kids in the car.
Oh, in the country, only a few parents were good enough to take the car, so you used to fit them in everywhere. But no, I love the footy, and good to get back to the country when you can.
Well done, mate.
Thanks, Tony.
Well done there, Tony Jones with Mark Rasciuto, who got his jumper. 32 disposals. The boy from Waikerie in country South Australia. Wow. They'll have a monument for him one day in Waikerie.
I think they have already.
Oh, well, so they should.
They'd be mad if they don't.
Has been a superstar, and we see the Adelaide Crows supporters. Here they are. They're in their numbers, as Dennis mentioned throughout the night. They've been very vocal. They've shown their support. Danny, we also saw Grant Thomas going in there, the head down, and he had the look of death on his face, didn't he?
Well, I don't miss that feeling. I must admit, when you walk off the ground with it's the way you get beat. You don't mind getting beaten by having a real crack, putting your head over the ball. But they were beaten in every facet of the game after quarter time. Hard ball gets, uncontested marking, running, defensive work. Adelaide
they fell off the back of their men on the lead too, so that was disappointing with the half-back line. But I'll bid you boys good evening from here, because the after-match Grim Reaper is out of here, down to the St Kilda rooms.
You've lost the toss, have you?
Absolutely.
Dermot Brereton goes to St Kilda rooms. Tony Jones goes to the victorious Adelaide Crow rooms. And we thank Danny Frawley for filling in for the Gary Lion tonight. Danny, thank you very much, mate. Your insight was fantastic.
Look, it was great to have a crack at it, and good luck to Gaz. They're very big boots to fill. I didn't quite fill them, but I'm sure he'll be back bigger and better next week.
Well, I'll put it this way, mate. He won't be having a second week off, not after your performance tonight. It was fantastic.
I don't know about that.
Danny Frawley joining us on Friday Night Football, and that man's face says it all for the Saints fans who started the season looking at premiership favouritism. Suddenly they are 4 wins and 5 losses, and the finals are a no certain thing, and top 4 are starting to slip away. The Crows, on the other hand, have turned it around. 15 of the last 18 goals of the game saw them win by 46 points. 8-9, 57, the Saints. Adelaide, 15-13. 19-103, the pride of South Australia, when we return to wrap it all up on Friday Night Football. This is AFL on 9.
Crowd of 35,100 at the Dome tonight. You've got to say they saw a bizarre game dominated by the Saints in the opening term, 5-2 to 1-2, and really they kicked the first 5 goals of the game, and Adelaide got the consolation goal just before quarter time, and then it was 14-11 to 3-7. 15 of the last 18 goals in the carnage as Adelaide went on a rampage. Welsh up forward, terrific, finished with 5. McGregor got 2. And for the Saints, Revolt, a very quiet night tonight. Just 6 marks, 2 goals, and Fraser Gehrig, ditto. He got the opening goal of the game, but rarely cited after that one.
Just amazing, Dennis, isn't it? To lead by 30 points at the 20-minute mark and then lose the rest of the game by 70 points.
And be playing so well. I mean, the men who needed to get touches were getting touches, so your confidence is up, everything's rolling, and suddenly just befuddled by the style of play that they encountered. And in the second term, Adelaide got their game going. Scott Welsh, I mentioned, booted 5. He was terrific up forward. Let's go down now and hear from Scott as he talks with TJ.
Well, Scotty, I suppose when the siren went at quarter time, you probably didn't expect to put yourself in this position singing the song tonight.
Yeah, it was a disappointing first quarter, but, you know, to fight like that, it's just, you know, it's just really good to be a part of this club.
A great character building too, isn't it? I mean, these are the sort of wins that you draw on for the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, that's the intensity we want to play it, and, you know, the last couple of games we just haven't been playing with that intensity, and to play like that, it's just, hopefully we can build on for the next couple of weeks.
Now, what about you? 2 in the... I don't want to sell you short here, but I'm pretty sure it was 2 in the second quarter and 3 in the third.
Yeah, it was a big third quarter for me. Yeah, pulled out a bit in the last quarter, but yeah, it's good to get a couple of goals and to help the team tonight, so it was great.
When you get on a roll like that, everything just seems to go your way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's funny about that, and, you know, I wish I could get on it a bit more.
Oh, good on you, mate.
Thanks.
There you go, 5 goals, and in fact 5 goals too. That third quarter he kicked 3 goals too to go on a rampage. In fact, he was the one who split the goals that St Kilda had. They had Milne, Revolt, and then Welsh got one back. Gehrig got another one. They hit the front, the Saints. It changed 5 times in that period, the lead, and then they kicked the next 7. But if I had have said to you at the start of the game, Dennis, that we'd be talking about Nathan Bock and Ben Rutten's game on Revolt and Gehrig, what would you have said?
Well,
what would you have said
terrific.
that at the 20-minute mark of the first quarter?
Well, we touched on that right at the start of the game, what a big job it was for Bock, and full credit to Neil Craig having the confidence to put him there. And we talked about the situation too with Craig getting in the faces of his players at quarter time.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it was all about encouragement. Let's find out, I think.
Well, Tony Jones has got Neil Craig, and Tony had the first-hand... well, had the ear to the crowd, if you like, when Neil Craig was getting into them at quarter time. He's down there. Ask the questions, TJ. Away you go.
Thanks, Ed. And, well, first of all, congratulations, Neil, and there's a lot to be congratulated for that one. I suppose from where we sat and from where we heard, your quarter-time address was inspirational, and, well, it must have been. I mean, the way the boys came back. What did you say to them?
Oh, no, it wasn't. I don't think it was too inspirational. I know it was just about, it was really sort of taking what St Kilda had put against us in that first quarter, and their attack on the ball was outstanding. And so we just had to get back and be on equal terms in that area, Tony, because I think the hard ball gets for something like we were 14 down. So irrespective of what style you wanted to play, there was no way we were going to do anything unless we actually got back on equal terms. So most of the quarter-time address was about that.
I suppose, too, the easy way out would have been negative, but it was mostly positive, what you were saying to the players?
Oh, yeah. No, I think we got 1 goal sort of towards the end there, just to, you know, so it it just gives you a bit of momentum, a bit of incentive to keep going. So, as I've said before, we've got a very resilient group here, so I've never questioned their ability to stay at it.
McGregor and Welsh in forward line, just terrific tonight, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, and that, I know that will be, that'll be a situation where people say, oh, well, it's personnel. The key thing for us was our ability to tackle over the ground. And, for our supporters who watched it tonight, that's a picture I want you to have in your head, and that's what we'll continue to try and play.
Nathan Bock, you'd have to be proud of him, wouldn't you? I mean, he kept Riewoldt to 11 touches, and by Riewoldt standards, that's a horror night. Yeah, it was an outstanding game by Nathan. He stood Nick last year down in Launceston, and, a tough job down there. And he's been in outstanding form in the SANFL with us. And it was just a perfect opportunity for him to come back in, and to his credit, I mean, on a quality player, the captain of their club, his performance was outstanding. And young Rutten, we'll have a chat to him a little later on, I think, but he had another big job too, didn't he? But he seems to relish the big jobs. Yeah, well, Ben, since he started playing down back last year, has just continued to grow, not just, with the jobs that he does match day, Tony, but the way he's developing as a leader and a quality person in our club, is a very important asset. Well, you're 5-4 now, so you'd be wrapped in that. But I suppose also after 9 rounds, you've won twice here at Telstra Dome and also at the SCG. Your road record's pretty handy. Yeah, it is, and we want to make sure we are a good travelling side. Because what I do know is that when you're good enough to play in the final series, most of the finals are played here in Melbourne. So if you can't win away, don't put yourself up. All right, terrific. Well, thanks for a great game of footy tonight. We certainly didn't expect to be here, that's for sure. So good luck against Carlton next week. Yeah, we're looking forward to Carlton, and I'm sure they'll be a tough opponent, as they always are. Any team coached by Dennis is a tough opponent. Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Tony. Okay.
Well, there he is, Neil Craig, Nicky Winmar in the rooms there with Rob Harvey and Thompson, and well, Dennis, it was interesting there. He's cost himself a fortune on the speaking circuit by saying that it wasn't a motivational address at quarter time. He should have pushed himself up. He
Positive reinforcement.
It would have been a 10 grand session with the corporates had he gone hard there. But a fantastic performance there, paying tribute to not only the play there. I was interested to hear what he thought about Ben Rutten as a future, obviously a leader and a quality person around his club. A great performance by the Adelaide Crows tonight. And well done to Neil Craig, who's unfashionable in the hurly-burly of sort of the Melbourne media, I suppose. You don't really hear a lot of Neil Craig, and he's very impressive in everything that he does.
He took over in round 14 last season. I think you've got to say after 17 games he's proved he belongs. I mean, if they didn't want to play for him, tonight was the perfect chance at quarter time, but the way they responded was just outstanding. Full credit to him. That, I think, reflects so much on the coaching staff as it does the players, what we saw tonight. That was a great win by Adelaide,
He still looks sore, doesn't he, Nick Riewoldt?
Well, he does, but he was dropping marks, a whole range of things. He was getting to the footy tonight and simply, unlike him, putting them down. I mean, Bock initially just stayed with him and then worried him to the point where he was making mistakes, which is so unlike Nick Riewoldt.
Dennis, question without notice for you. If you can remember the stat that you pulled out about St Kilda after their 10 in a row last year, what is it again now?
Won 11 of their last 24. So some questions need to be asked.
All right, well, there you go. We'll ask some questions of Dermot Brereton. When we return on the other side of this break, we'll get more from the Adelaide Crows from Tony Jones and a lot more from Dermot Brereton from the St Kilda rooms when we return on Friday Night Football. This is AFL on 9.